all kinds of propaganda. You're going to hear all kinds of lies and deception. There will be tactics used to try and buy you out. There will be tactics used to try and frighten you away. And I only have to say one thing to you tonight, comrades. We are blood and fire comrades, and we're marching on to progress. And we will stand firm. We will not be bought because we are not for sale.
The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs. So why you come to me with that foolishness, you know? You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.
Hello, welcome. Happy Tuesday to everyone in television land. Happy Tuesday to our silent supporters. Happy Tuesday to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hope everyone had a wonderful and productive start to the week. Tonight's topic is our children are suffering and / illegal use of taxpayers' resources. Guys, remember, when you come in, thumbs up the live, share us out if you can. And if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. That will be greatly appreciated. Also, guys, remember the membership is still active, so those who would like to join our membership are free to do so. Tonight's host, we have Mystic Sensation as usual. It's Baron and Anne-Marie. We have Melting Pot, Pastor Ricky, Mr. Rattigan. He just fell off. He was just here. He'll be back. And also Pink Stew should be joining us, and Daisy Magazine should be joining us. Let me just do a quick umbrella welcome to everyone in the chat, because it's already a lot of persons in the chat. So an umbrella welcome to everybody and a blessed Tuesday to you all. Blessed up to our channel moderators and also to our channel members. A special bless up to you guys. Before we get started, I'm just going to ask Pastor Ricky to lead us off in a word of prayer.
Thank you. Good evening again, Lady Anne-Marie, Sir Melting Pot, children and family, grandchildren. Good evening, Sir Melting Pot and Lady Pot and children and grandchildren. Good evening, Sir Rattigan and family and children. Good evening, Lady Pink's family and children. Good evening, everyone in the chat, Daisy Magazine, children and family. Let us pray. Father, we honor you. We adore you. We magnify your name. You are worthy to be praised from the rising of the sun till the going down of the same. We bless your matchless name. Tonight, as we come as a family on Mystic Sensation, we thank you for this platform, this privilege, this opportunity to share pertinent information so that the viewers, the listeners, the followers, those who are lovers of Mystic Sensation can make an informed decision whether they're in the diaspora, planning to go home to vote, or on the rock in Jamaica. We thank you for the freedom of speech, constitutional rights that we have to share information, to criticize, to scrutinize bad governance, corruption, and criminality in the government. We thank you for your daughter, Lady Anne-Marie. We ask that you continue to guide her fingers, her thoughts, her thinking as she navigates between the different clips and videos and documents. We ask, mighty God, that you will take control and let everything be done in decent and in order. Thank you for her husband, Sir Byron. Continue to bless their marriage. And we ask, mighty God, that you will guide his thoughts and his thinking as he share pertinent information through research. And we ask, oh God, that whatever he shares tonight will germinate in the hearts of the viewers. Bless everyone in the chat. We thank you, mighty God, that as they come on, the sacrifice that they have made week after week, Tuesdays and Friday, that their labor is not in vain. And we pray a special blessing on everyone in the chat, because without the viewers, we would be nothing. And we need them, and we thank you for them. And so breathe a fresh wind again tonight, we pray. And have your way in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, over to you, Baron.
All right. Thank you for that, wifey. All right. Tonight, as usual, we have a wonderful panel. I'm happy that things get over technical difficulties there, but she's here with us, right? And we congratulate that, right? Now, before I get to the panel as it relates to the usual meet and greet, right? Bola, in the chat, big up yourself. Now, let me say this, Jamaica. Tonight, we are going to be what I define as being politically surgical tonight with our information. Deep dive in information in terms of revealing, right? I mean, the hell of a corruption that we have as it relates to Jamaica Labour Party. And tonight, I'm not going to be politically correct. Let me say that. I'm going to speak the plain truth. The Jamaica Labour Party, as we know it, right, it is a criminal organization that camouflages itself under the pretext of a political party. Tonight, right, we are going to highlight some serious issues of corruption. Now, without any delay, let me just go ahead. Things drop off again, fell off. Right. So let us go to the usual meet and greet. Melting Pot, go ahead, meet and greet.
Yes, Sir Byron. Greetings to everyone out there tonight. You know, the Mystic Sensation family. Love you all. You know, hope you had a blessed Tuesday, you know, and relaxing at home now. Yeah, enjoying the program that we have on offer tonight. Yeah, first I must big up our lioness having some technical problem, but I know she'll be back in the space, you know. Representative from the West.
All right.
Sir Lord Byron, our, you know, trusted investigator and host. Our technical director, Lady Anne Marie, and our dear beloved Pastor Ricky, who, as usual, you know, opened the show with blessings, you know. And not to mention the man, Mr. Rattigan. Big up yourself, sir. Big up yourself, Sir Ratty. Yeah, man, you don't know. A man we're in the space and share a lot of credible information with us over the time. So as usual, big up, Sir Rat. Yeah, but tonight, you know, as the Tom Drive said, our children are suffering illegally use of tax resource. And that is a big problem in the country. Yeah, because we see some hanky-panky thing a go on. As Sir Byron says, a mafia government, a masquerade as a, you know, parliament of, you know, honorable people. But we know them dishonorable. You understand? And we have to put out them dishonorability as it relates to taxpayers' money. Because you know them misappropriate at all time and skullduggery and trickery and con and theft and corruption. All of these things. And it mash up and set back the country. Right? Because we are looking at an era where we know very critical, and so we have to dissect it as we go along. I yield back the floor to another member.
All right, here you go. Ride and whistle, Pastor Ricky.
Yeah, thank you, Sir Byron. Good night again, everyone. Sir Rattigan, blessings, Sir Melting Pot. Lady Anne Marie, Sir Byron, Lady Pinks. Good night again. Well, there are criminal vows through the Prime Minister in the spotlight this Sunday. In his incompetence, he said that any man want to be Prime Minister of Jamaica. He didn't say Mark Golden. He said any man, which means the Prime Minister. That if they want to be Prime Minister, they have to show their credentials. Thank you, criminal, incompetent boss, for saying that. Because now it put the Prime Minister in the spotlight again. He does not have his statutory declarations certified for 4 years. He has 28 bank account in the IC report that we know of, plus an offshore bank account for SSL. He has $473 million to various different accounts, including US account. So if you want to be Prime Minister, do what Daryl Voss said and come reveal your credentials that you are worthy to be the next Prime Minister with integrity and honesty. Because if you don't, let me say what Voss' wife says Sunday night. The two of them throw him under the bus. You will be getting a 3rd term in prison. She said it out of her mouth. So the spotlight is on you now to declare that you are fit to be Prime Minister and you are worthy to be Prime Minister of Jamaica, which is a Christian nation. Back over to you, Sir Byron.
All right. Thank you for that. Brother Racketeering, take it away. Meet and greet.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Lady Anne Marie, Lord Byron, Pastor Ricky, Belting Pot, Pinks, all the people in the chat, viewing audience, big up on yourself. Let me just say thanks to everyone who turned up last week, Saturday, on our road show, because we're taking the show on the road now, and we move it from Maryland to Brooklyn, and it was well attended, and yeah, it was good to press the flesh and see the people out there. I think there are plans afoot to move the road show down to Florida, but we shall see. Also want to thank all the people who tuned in on Sunday for the ATI discussion with Jeanette Calder. Well attended, quite interesting. This Sunday we're going to do it again, and we're also gonna do the Magnitsky as well. And Prezi will make an appearance. So for those of you who have had and continue to have problems accessing the Magnitsky petition, Prezi will be here. So hopefully after Sunday, we won't have any more problems. And tomorrow night on Come Reason with Ratigan, we have a segment called Yoretio, Miketio. And we have a big up Missy B, forgive me, at least part of the title, but we'd say Miketio, but she said, no, you have to add Yoretio. So, and that segment is going to be like a half hour, maybe a 45-minute segment. And it's going to just deal with one issue that the government thought that they had gotten away with, whether it's a promise, a commitment or something, and then we'll hold them with it. And it's a good way for me to get rid of the ATIs that have been piling up the results. So happy to be here. Looking forward to the discussion. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that, Ratty. Right away, over to you, Lady Spinks.
Is everything back up?
Spinks?
I think she is still having some technical
Okay, I think
difficulties.
Pinks still having some technical difficulties where that is concerned. So then we are going to ride and whistle, right? Pinks, is Pinks back? All right, Pinks.
Yes. Are you hearing us? Oh, your mic is muted.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing
All
you.
right. Go ahead, meet and greet, Sister Pinks.
The internet playing hopscotch.
All right.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we're hearing you. Oh, you're muted. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello?
We are hearing. Yeah, we are hearing
You can hear me now?
Yes, we are hearing you.
Okay. I would like to say Greetings to you, Uncle Byron, Lady Anne Marie, Pastor Ricky, Melton Pot, Radigan, and Radigan. Good evening to all people in St. James, especially my friends in Northwest St. James, bigging up St. James people all the time. But I have some news to share with you, which is not very good news because Nigel, before Nigel left for the IMF, he made an initiative to change the payment packages of several government workers. And in doing so, right now at the St. James Parish Council, there are people there being employed who are getting up to $2.8 million per year, and their only qualifications is 560s, which is more than basically 2.8 million Jamaican dollars is more than what a person with a first degree is earning in Jamaica. So Jamaica, the math is not mathing.
Oh,
The
exactly.
math is not mathing in salaries here in Jamaica. And this is one thing Commonwealth leader has to fix when he gets into office.
So
I yield the
definitely.
floor to someone else.
All right. Thank you very much. Now we are going to start the ball roll right away. Right. We have heard Darrell Vaz claiming that no matter what, Andrew Holness must get the third term. Well, let me say to you, Darrell Vaz, no matter what, prison term is coming. And I want you to know that tonight,
That's right.
particularly tonight, we are going to deep dive and show the people, expose this government. That is why we are here tonight. Now, I want to ask Darrell Vaz something. We know that it is Darrell Vaz, based on the information that we have and evidence that we have. You are the one who make Andrew Holness into a billionaire. We know that. We know that you are the trigger man. We know that when you were the minister without portfolio, as it relates to into Andrew's office, right? The wrong that you and Andrew Holness had done as it relates to devalue government property, right? Went to Mexico, collected the money, and you share it for you and Andrew. We are going to show the evidence tonight so that people can see it. So it's not Mystic Sensation is saying that. We know that, of course, you are the one that secure and usher all the accounts in SSL for JLP. We have the evidence of that. We know that. We know that, of course, you take money, right, investors' money, right, and send your daughter to university. We know that. We know that you take portion of SSL money and hand it over to Andrew Holness. We know that. We have the evidence for that. But we are going to expose you and your corruption tonight, Darrell Vaz. Now, Christopher Tufton, you are going to be exposed tonight. Andrew Holness, you are going to be exposed tonight. Tonight is what we call Bermuda Triangle. And you know, it's a zone that people you need to keep away from, right? As it relates to the Jamaica Labour Party. Now, Darrell Vaz, just imagine that you have taken taxpayers' money, $1.4 billion, and said you are going to put that into the rural school bus system so that it can serve our children. Because we have an absenteeism problem. And you use that as a pretext to rob our treasury. and using those school buses for Jamaica Labour Party campaign. Darrell Vaz, you need to go to prison. Darrell Vaz, you have to be investigated for this. So let us just quickly run through that and show that taxpayers' money, $1.4 billion that cannot be accounted for. Cannot. Darrell Vaz, we are watching you over the school bus because you said it is 110 supposed to come in. These are decommissioned buses, right? And these are buses that you don't even pay a quarter of the 1.4 billion. So we want to know where the rest of the money is gone. But we know how it goes. Now, Darrell Vaz, let us show this. And I want to ask myself a question. The PSOJ haven't seen this, right? The umbrella group of church haven't seen this. And finally, what happened to the ombudsman? Yeah, the ombudsman hasn't seen this.
No.
That Darrell Vaz is using taxpayers' money for a political campaign. We are not making up this, The ombudsman, or whosoever the ombudsman is, ombudsman, watch this clip. Darrell Vaz is using taxpayers' money for a political campaign. Let us play it. Unbelievable.
Active.
Now, Jamaica, this is serious. This is serious, and why this is serious? Because Darrell Vaz now operating as if he's above the law. Now, one of the reasons why, let me say this to you, Jamaica. Let me say this to Jamaican people. One of the reasons why Darrell Vaz believe he can do that, because Darrell Vaz has Andrew on a secret. Darrell Vaz have Andrew on a secret. I mean, lock barren. There is no way Andrew Onis can ever make any attempt to correct Darrell Vaz. And this is one of the reasons when we said, when you have a prime minister that corrupt like Andrew Onis, he cannot speak to anyone, he cannot correct anyone. This is a very serious situation that Jamaica needs to take note. Using taxpayers' money for what? Political campaign. These are buses, old buses, right? And to show you that there is no care put into this, the old decommissioned diesel bus, right, that America rendered unsafe for their children. Darrell Vaz go in at the garbage heap, right? Pick them up and charge it to taxpayers $1.4 billion. Now, Darrell Vaz, let me remind you what the Contractor General investigated you for and what you have done while you were in the office of the Prime Minister, which is Andrew Onis. Let me show Jamaica what you have done and show you that your corruption is from the genesis of your involvement in politics. And we know definitely that Andrew Onis becomes a billionaire as a result of you, Darrell Vaz. We know that. Now, let us show this evidence. Let us get into the evidence before we break this down. Jamaica, we are going to get into some serious thing tonight. Trust me, very serious. Here it is. Free Beach, Vaz, Government UDC fingered in 1.3 billion. So Darrell Vaz, it seems like you love the 1.3 and the 1.4 billion. Yeah, it seems like that you love the 1.3 and the 1.4 billion dollars. So you like to dip, right, in the taxpayers' money, in the treasury, and rob the treasury. And so then you want third term for you to continue, for you and Andrew Wallace to continue your robbery. Now, resort property giveaways. This is what you're doing. Undervalue, you and Andrew Wallace, undervalue the property. And then you go, and then you went to Mexico and collect the money under the table. We are going to show the evidence now, Darrell Vance. But let the people them understand what you have done with your level of criminality. Darrell Vance, the ONS administration, Minister without portfolio Darrell Vance, and the Urban Development Corporation have been slammed by the Office of the Contractor General for their role in the sale of the beach property to Porto Caribbean Properties Limited. Operators of Moon Palace, Jamaica Grand Hotel, saying that the government virtually gave away a 13.5 million US dollars property for 7.2 million. You see what you have done, Darrell Vaz? Here it is. Let me read it over to you, Darrell Vaz, if you are listening. Operators of the Moon Palace, Jamaica Grand Hotel, saying that the government virtually gave away, you and Andrew Wallace, virtually gave away 13.5 million property for US 7.2 million in the name of development, under the pretext of development, and then you go to Mexico, go collect the kickback. This is what you are doing to Jamaican people. This is what you and Andrew Wallace have been doing to Jamaican people. The company also walk away with the Moon Palace Beach valued at 3.5 million for free. So you put Jamaican people first. You put Jamaican people first. You are all wicked. You people are devious. You are Satan in living flesh. The long-awaited findings that were tabled in the House of Representatives yesterday showed that the property was valued at 13.5 million at its highest and US 11.8 million at the lowest. That is what the property value at its highest, and 11.8 million, right? And see where you give it away up your sofa for $3.5 million, and you collect it. You and Andrew Wallace collect the difference in between. That is how you treat taxpayers. So you shorten our social programs, right? You shorten certain things that's supposed to, you understand, development in the country, because all of that development, they go in you and Andrew Wallace's pocket. All of that development for Jamaica is going into you and Andrew Wallace's pocket. However, ministerial pressure and interference from VARS, the de facto Minister of Economic Growth and Job Creation, within whose purview the UDC falls, were cited as weakening the UDC, leaving taxpayers 1.3 billion poorer. Now let me tell you something, VARS. And see, you come replicate it through the rural school bus program. You come and replicate it. Right? The continuous spin for you. And asking the Jamaican people to give you a third term. Now take it away. Let me show the document where you go and collect the money, and the United States flag you. Yes, let us show the document where you go and collect the money. Darrell Vance. Right? And share it to you and Andrew Wallace. You are a set of criminals. Right? Now, as I said, that I'm not going to mince my word tonight. Right? Using Jamaica Labour Party as a pretext as a political party. It's a criminal network. It's a criminal network. Now, let us Let us bring up the other document. Now, the question asks, why Darrell Vaz? Darrell Vaz, you know, you listen to me, you know. Why Darrell Vaz allegedly lost his visa? We are going to show Jamaica as a result of what you have done with that hotel. And you went to Mexico to collect the money. Can you imagine? Worthless. You people are a set of worthless people, right? Under no circumstances you should be on the ballot, right? But you are representing people, right? Criminals. Now, read on. The real reason why Darrell Vaz lost his US visa. Everybody has been busy speculating and lying about the reasons for the revocation of Philip Palwell's visa. Some of the stories read like an action movie, some like a thriller, and others appear to come straight from a fantasy land. Yet, as we read and digest the Disney-like fantasy about Palwell revocation, we hear no reason for the revocation of Darrell Vaz diplomatic and visitors visa. I'm going to the evidence, people. The diplomatic visa, which is granted under rights of passage, clauses of the Geneva Convention, give ministries and diplomats a free pass to do the country's business. So why? Why would the US rescind the diplomatic visa and the B1, B2 visitors visa on October 8th without a specific incident which breached the understandings under which the visa was granted? The US government will tell you there were material breaches by Minister Vaz, which caused the State Department, Darrell Vaz, come in front of the class. You and Andrew Holness need to take one on yourself. You and Andrew Holness need to take away yourselves. Because the only purpose that you are there is through the means of illicit enrichment. Now let us read out the business, Darrell Vaz. There were material breaches, Mr. Vaz, which caused the State Department, FBI, and DEA to all agree on the revocation and cause pressure on Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The incident involved Vaz. Let us read out the business now. Let us read out your Andrew Holness corruption. The incident involved Vaz traveled to Mexico City to collect kickbacks from his Moon Palace Resort connections for his role in the rooms and beach deal. That's why when the Moon Palace valued $13.8 million US, you only sell it for $3 million because you want to collect the middle half. You and Andrew Holness want to collect the middle half. A prime Jamaican property. The payments of $2 million US were made through the Jamaican Commission agent, but for Vaz collected US $475,000 in Mexico City. Darrell Vaz, you want to say like this? Eh? Come let me talk to you, Darrell Vaz. Do you want to say that the evidence that I'm presenting here is false? You want to talk to Jamaican people about that? You didn't go to Mexico and collect $475,000 US? Eh? You want to say you didn't devalue the Moon Palace property? That value at the highest value as 13 million and that low value 8 million, and you sold it for 3.8 million? You didn't do that, Darrell Vaz. You want to tell the Jamaican people that you didn't do that? The financial transaction flowed through the US banking system, and Mr. Vaz was fingered. And when consolidated with the US real estate, you know, I'm going to read about this because more Andrew wants to tremble tonight and more to need them not together. Let me read back something here. So Andrew Holness, you listen to this. The transaction flowed through the US banking system, and Mr. Vaz was fingered. Stop right there. So you can go on, Andrew Holness, tell Jamaica people that the 700 US dollars that you put in a city bank was mistake. And that was Jamaican dollars. Jamaican denomination. Who you think you can fool? Well, anyway, you continue to go and fool us. But what I am telling you, if 475,000 US dollar flag through the Swiss system, well, what about 700,000 US in Citibank? Talk to me now, Andrew Honest. You and Darrell Vaz. Eh? You can't go and tell Jamaican people that it is a lie. Right? It is mistake. Where the bank hold that denominator for more than a year. You continue with your deviousness because we want to put you into the judiciary and you must go into the judiciary. The financial transaction flow through US banking system and Mr. Vaz was fingered and likewise Andrew Honest. You understand? Hit the Swiss system. And when consolidated with US real estate and huge construction work at his house in Portland, Vaz was sanctioned. Now watch this now, people. These funds were also used to acquire additional properties in Portland near Monkey Island. That's where you run out and talk about Portland. It's Vaz land. Without no apology. Eh? Well, let me tell you something, Darrell Vaz. Portland land, every land where you buy belongs to taxpayers. Belongs to taxpayers. Taxpayers' money. Right? Taxpayers' money. And they are going to put you through the judiciary system. Remember, we tell you that, Vaz. The Moon Palace money also led to the Prime Minister, who made a huge and illegal cash lodgement to First Global Bank in New Kingston. Yes, just like your friend put millions of SSL money in the ATM machine for you and your owners. You and the level of criminality where you carry off, you and your level of criminality. Now, the deposit was not reported as the law requires. This caused the bank officer, who is a strong GLP supporter and acted as NHC chairman, to be fired. I like that Darrell Vaz and Andrew Honest. He didn't fire. Talk to us now, Andrew Honest and Darrell Vaz. Eh? As a result of this, right? He got fired. He has since been rehired. Right? He has since been rehired at Jamaican National, right? Now, by who? Curtis Martin. So them spread them corruption and them friending. The investigation at the bank has been blocked by Senator Dan Webby. Hey, let me tell you something. I think Father got asleep. Senator Dan Webby, you're gone over the other side. But let me say this to you. I hope you can rest well with Father God as it relates to confess and confess your sins. Right? Where your sins are concerned. A GLP Senator and Chairman of GK Financial Service, however, the US FBI officers who came to Jamaica remain concerned about the transactions. The name Andrew Honest itself, along with Police Commissioner Anthony Anderson, that's why you find it say Andrew Honest select them people and right, ensure that these people, right, all respective place to shielding, to covering. Now, here it is now that the police, the former police commissioner, Anthony Anderson, came up for visa revocation within the State Department. You don't tell me now Jamaica people say, this no worthlessness. This no worthlessness. Eh? This no extremely despicable. Where the Prime Minister is a corrupter. The Minister of National Security is a corrupter. The commissioner, the former commissioner of police is a corrupter. And the EPP is a facilitator. So then, when people ask why Andrew Holness has not been charged, Andrew Holness has not been charged because of the criminal justice system that we have. And let me say this, without no apology. Llewellyn, she's the one responsible for the continuation of these corruptions. Paula Llewellyn, yes, you are the one who is responsible for the continuation of the bleeding of our treasury. Paula Llewellyn, I don't know what you are going to tell God, sir. Right? Even when you see the blatant crime committed, you look away, Paula Llewellyn. And as we speak, Patrick Bailey cannot be interrogated. But let me say this. Let me say this. The sun shine in the east and set in the west. Your time to move on and justice will flow. Now, let me say this to Vaz. The U.S. authority believe that Mr. Vaz is at the center of racketeering. People want to listen, you know. I know we have said this. This don't have nothing to do with any person on my panel. It has nothing to do with Pinks. It has nothing to do with Melting Pot. It has nothing to do with Pastor Ricky. It has nothing to do with Rattigan. It is the U.S. authority believe that Mr. Vaz is at the center of racketeering, money laundering, and other financial crimes, and their investigation in the U.S. is pointing to the threatening the very existence of Holness government. The matter is not over. Let me turn to the panel. Opening batsman. Please take it away.
Thank you, Sir Lord Byron. Yeah. Must also say enough respect to the panelists tonight, you know, tuning in. We have a lot of work to deal with tonight. So we have to kick it off like this. You see, the corruption when in Jamaica is a stranglehold on the country. Yeah, it has squeezed and suffocate the life out of the country. And this is why we have to take to the platform and beat this corruption out of existence. And when you look on the players, them, all of them have to get criminal charge when the right time come. Because them formulate a team of players, you know, and everybody contrive to the corruption. You understand? Ministers, permanent secretary, yeah? And you know, permanent secretary are some people with high qualification as it relates to civil servant posts, you know. Yeah, them people are supposed to give account for where I go on in a government ministry. So when you see all of them hanky-panky, you know, you have to look wide and far enough to see the players them. You see guy pop up like Dan Webby. You see all Chris Martin, yeah, Darrell Vaz, always at the center of controversy alongside Andrew Holness. So you know them, they are the head buckle washer them there, you know. Holiness and Vaz are the head criminal in Jamaica. Yeah. Because as it relates to, you know, the kickback where them go, where Vaz go to Mexico, go pick up. Even Andrew Holness kickback money that, you know. Nobody else no get nothing out of that, you know. Because a minister without portfolio, Vaz shouldn't even have him on the Moon Palace Resort and beach property. Him not supposed to go nowhere around there so to do no, you know, business. Vaz out order and rude. And enough of himself around Andrew Holness. Because him and Andrew Holness are the opening batsman for corruption in Jamaica. So as the Lord Byron said, Andrew can't question none of Vaz's action. I have to work with it. Yeah. But you see, when all of these things happening in Jamaica, we still have to turn the spotlight on the people we're supposed to oversee them transaction, yeah. We can't let go them people there, you know,
Permanent
because exactly the permanent secretary, we can't let them go. I feel them duty and responsibility to oversee all of these government business and hold government official accountable when you find variances of corruption and highlight it from early, you know, pack it up over a 10-year period or a 9-year period or a 8-year. Nip it in the bud right there and then hold them accountable. Everybody would have straightened up and fall in line. And you could not do so much damage to the country, you know, as it related to it. But money, you know, if you run the country, you know. Vast could not do it. And the majority of the Jamaica Labour Party minister them could not handle the taxpayers' money the way them a deal with it. You understand? So them thing I now come with some issues where we have to highlight. Now as it relates to VAS and even the school bus, yeah, when bringing at the cost of $1.4 billion. When we do our investigation, we should say no, they know it near to them the money that will come project to we. So may I ask the permanent secretary them, what to purchasing order and invoice document to support these criminal politicians and them lies. We must have them thing there enough to come show we the public, you know, and prove them when them a tell lie as it relates to where them spend overseas. Because it cannot be. Because how it is that we can find out say that $1.4 billion they a chop it. And all the various ministry them where lose money, where the auditor general stumble upon. Yeah, where them now have no accountability, no transparency as it relates to, you know, where the auditor general find unaccountable. Them can't provide no document, you know. So we are asked people like R.J. Sewell, yeah, and Dunstan Bryan, who work within that period of time where the auditor general investigate as it relates to them signing off on the government procurement them. Where are the purchasing order and invoice? Where are the purchasing order and invoice? R.J. Sewell and Dunstan Bryan. Because you should have them there, you know. By all means. Because when the minister them supplement what they want, you know, you're supposed to look on the order, you know. Which is the purchasing order where them put forward, where them are going to deal with. And then you're supposed to get an invoice from the supplier. And then you look on both of them and come up with findings. But not like that now go on because everybody have feed out of the cookie jar. So all them only for money where you hear missing from the various ministry, the permanent secretary them who preside over that period of time as it relates to R.J. Sewell and Dunstan Bryan, they must be held accountable, charged and fling behind bars. Those two individuals are two criminals that support corruption, and all of them get them merit from that, you know. Because them get the crumbs. You understand? Them get them crumbs. So we have to look on these people and bring them to the justice table. So what we are looking on right now in a Jamaica, people, we are looking on two mastermind criminal in Andrew Holness and Darrell Vaz. Because see, even the American them, the FBI, the DEA, them have them on them watch. 475 million.
All right. What a point, the melting pot. I have a caller on the line, want to ask a question. Let me just allow the caller to just ask his question and then, all right, you continue, melting pot. Right. Go ahead, caller. You're on Mystic Sensation Live. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mystic Sensation family, and to everyone.
Good evening.
Byron, I hear you asking that question, and I would like to ask him a question too.
Yes.
Because I tend to haven't heard anyone up on this. I'm wondering in myself if this busting is pretty much a decoy. Now, it is in the report of the buses coming in the island. And let me first say something else before I get to that. I notice when one have certain things in their possession, they are very key and very powerful. And that's what was displayed, especially these days. Going on stage and he brawling out and say he's killer Vaz. Not me, he say that. If anyone want to get to the prime minister, have to come through him. He says that. And that tells that he is more powerful and mighty. If that is a result of what he have in his possession, now this takes to the point of in the report of the buses shipping in the island. There are some of the buses that came in the island uninspected. Uninspected. I'd like to ask him the question, what came in those buses that came in uninspected? That's a question of a Columbo mind thinking. I would like to ask him what came in those buses that came in uninspected in an election climate, and with him have all those extra power that have him to claim and going out and if he's confessing or what, to say he's killer Vaz, and then one have to come through to get to the prime minister, have to come through him. So that's the question I would like to ask.
All right. Thank you
for taking my call and keep it power, keep it burning.
Thank you. Wonderful input from the caller there. And I will just say to the caller that was real great influence, and I want Jamaica people to know that he has heavy ties as it relates to the PSOJ, and he has heavy ties in government. So he believes that, you understand, he's above the law, and that is why he is behaving like that. And of course, he knows where Andrew Holness' skeleton lies. Obviously, he's the one that make Andrew Holness the billionaire Andrew Holness is. Go ahead, Melting Pot. Sorry.
Yeah, as it relates to the 475,000 US where I'm going to Mexico, go collect. Yeah. The US State Department, they was on to him, right away. As it relates to the FBI and the DEA. So Darrell Vaz is an international criminal, not just locally. So the same way all you see him go collect a kickback here off of the Moon Palace Resort and Beach. Yeah. And the same way him have kickback off of the 1.4 billion from the school bus them, the old school bus them, the decommissioned school bus them, the rejected school bus them. I just want to bring them in for the political campaign. Because these buses come in a Jamaica and supposed to in a garage right now as we are speaking, a retrofit, because them not qualify for the transportation system to begin with in terms of the configuration of the buses. Yeah, but instead where they are all over the island at the political campaigning. So this man have a lot to answer to. So as the caller just rightfully said, this guy are powerful and why I'm bringing at the bus them too. We have to question that because that is a very strong point the caller just put forward, because the bus them not go through no examinations. Them just come in and clear.
All right.
See, I'll recall I move one. I don't know if that one they fully loaded till it could even drive itself. Recall if you move it half a wharf. Maybe that one they have in the whole of the merchandise. So we have to look on them people as criminal.
Exactly.
You understand? Darrell Vaz must be held accountable and put behind bars, man. Him a room too long. Remember the man make we lose daylight 7 times,
All right.
And as him say, as a killer Vaz, and we know that. Never need to tell me.
Well, on the opening batsman, you have 30 seconds leave. So just wrap it up in 30 seconds.
All right. Well, to make short, we just say Darrell Vaz, Andrew Holness, and the various players them. At time the police go after them. We put too much evidence, yeah. So I don't know if we put the meat on the bone. and go for them criminal. Yeah. I yield back the floor.
All right, thank you. Yes, Sister Pinks, your
So,
6.
so guys, remember the 6 minutes. It's allotted.
Okay. Yes, Sister Pinks, utilize your 6 minutes. You're on.
Okay, thank you, Uncle Byron and Lady Anne Marie. Well, in Jamaica, in most communities, you have a co-kid living in the community. And people normally use the co-kid to send to shop or do little errands around the place, you know. But I would really like to ask every Jamaican, would you give the co-kid that lives in your community $5,000 to go to a shop? On a serious note, would you trust a co-kid with 5 grand Jamaican to go to the shop to buy anything for you? And the reason I'm asking this question, you know, is that everybody, whether it's a rich cokehead or a poor cokehead, they all have the same characteristic. They all think they're invincible. They all think they're above. They can fly off a building. They can jump and do all things that Superman can do, and nobody can touch them. That is one of the characteristics of a cokehead. They think they are invincible. Now, let us look at how Vaz has been behaving recently on the campaign trail. Nobody can touch him. Vaz land, Vazism, using these terminologies. What he's saying, he's Superman. Nobody can touch him.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand? So when you hear the people behave like this, you know, and they have a dependency on chemicals, do not be surprised of their behavior. Do not be surprised of their behavior. Because if you look at some people behave, on stage when they're performing, is because they're under some sort of chemical. They have a chemical dependency. And we have seen many of our entertainers died from chemical abuse.
Exactly.
So whether, no matter what profession a person into, and if they choose to have a dependency, again, they choose to have a dependency on a chemical, and it's their personal choice. But when their personal choice affects our tax dollars, then it becomes a problem and a national problem and an international problem because guess what happened now? He's under the microscope internationally. He represents us. He was elected. And this is what people in Jamaica need to understand. When you vote for a person to represent in your constituency, that person needs to also represent you internationally. So the character or the person and the person's integrity and honesty needs to go through the IC and be able to be certified. We want people who can sign the code of conduct and represent us on an international level. Look at our 63 candidates on our side. Every one of them can go through the airport and not be under anybody's microscope on an international level. So Jamaicans, when you're voting in this upcoming election, try to remember this. Can this person represent you internationally? Can this person be considered honest? Can this person represent integrity and be an example for us as a proud Jamaican on the international scene?
All right.
Jamaicans, please look at the candidate you are voting for. In St. James, we have 5 good candidates. All of them can take a plane and go through airport security. I yield the floor to somebody else.
All right. 27 seconds on the clock. Now, Pastor Ricky, your 6 minutes is burning. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you. A long time we are tell the people them Savas and the Prime Minister is a criminal. From last year we are said, and we not stop saying. Listen, Vaz breached the Constitution, Section 40, that stated that you cannot represent in government or parliament if you are a non-Commonwealth citizen. In 2007, Abdul them carried them to court, attorney Abdul, excuse me, because in breach the Constitution and ran for MP. So from them time there, we know he was a criminal because he's not a lawmaker, he's a lawbreaker. I am so disgusted with the judge that made the decision to allow them to run and renounce their citizenship of a non-Commonwealth country. The law says in the Constitution, it's right there, Section 40, that you should be disqualified. And if the judge followed the law, Vaz and Warmington and the whole of them back then would not be in Parliament today. They should have been disqualified from them time there. But, let bygones be bygones. This is what we do, what we reap consequences when we don't do things the right way. Now,
True.
What happened with the Vaz collecting kickback money from Mexico in 2019? And the Prime Minister sent him to Mexico for collect the kickback money from the Moonlight Palace Resort, that them devalue. It hit the SWIFT system. Anything over 10,000 US dollars, that's wire transfer, automatically hit the United States SWIFT system. But in that time, in its incompetence and the Prime Minister incompetence, them got get money, wire transfer, and it hit the SWIFT system, and the US flagged Vaz and the Prime Minister. You just showed the document. So the United States government, State Department, as you just read, flagged Vaz as a money launderer and then they revoke it, and other financial crimes. They revoke his visa. In 2019, they revoked his visa. The same year, Mexico got collect US funds off of the resort, which is government land and property. And then in 2022, September, he applied for a visa, and they grant him a 1-year waiver visa that expires September 2023. And it had the nominal number that starts with 212A, 212, which if you plug in that in certain database, it states the people that get those type of waiver visa are illicit drug traffickers, money launderers. So both Vaz and the Prime Minister has been on the US radar from them time there. And a long time we are telling the people them say the Prime Minister are gonna be the first Prime Minister from Jamaica for go prison when him lose. This is why they're fighting so hard to stay in government, because they feel as long as they're in government, they're protected. And furthermore, the corrupt DPP, why Vaza be of the way? Because them know she's the guardian against prosecution for criminals in the government. But lo and behold, her time is winding down. And so Vaz and the Prime Minister is about to see in the next incoming government under the leadership of Comrade Leader Mark Golden and the next Justice Minister that they are not above the law. Nobody in Jamaica is above the law except the Governor General, which is wrong. That's why I don't like the Westminster system, but that's another conversation. Vaz and the Prime Minister and all of them cronies, as Sir Melton Pat said, Arju Sewell and the Permanent Secretary, Dunstan Byrne lift up and runway, and Nigel Clark runway, because them know what come. But the one of them are about to see that the law is above them. Vaz is a criminal and must be prosecuted along with the Prime Minister. And I turn it back over.
Thank you very much. With 1 minute and 38 seconds remaining on the clock. All right, as we said, Brother Rattigan.
He just fell off.
Okay. So, Brother Rattigan, ABR, people, ABR in the chat, big up yourself, ABR.
ABR and Bolo.
Remember, go on sub to ABR, Bolo, right? Sub up to Bolo, they are doing, hard work, right? And we want to enter into a more serious conversation of criminality as it relates to Dr. Tufton. And this, what we are going to open, is extremely serious. Extremely serious. So let us ride and whistle until Brother Rattigan comes back into the space. Now, let us get into this. And the next folder that we are going to open, right, is where the fire is going to begin. So, people, just hold on your coffee. Let us listen to Andrew Holness. And I'm glad I have this clip for the world to hear him.
This government does not hear about your health. I hear the spirit of a little baby crying, saying, why did the people keep the Labour Party government in? If the Labour Party government was in, I would still be alive. I hear the spirit of the baby that have died because of the revocation.
All right, it seems that Brother Rattigan is back in the space. All right, let us just stop that, because that is where we're going to deal with the bangarang tonight, some serious issues.
He fell off again.
Okay, let us ride on whistle, because it seems like Brother Rattigan. Okay, so let us finish play that clip.
$18 babies have died. She don't need to pass the law. She don't need to lock up anybody to demonstrate her real care and concern for the children of this nation. All she needs to do is to fire the Minister of Health. This government does not hear.
Hey, let us show the big old dirty hypocrite in the room. 18 baby died, and he said the minister need to be fired. Now we are going to even get into more serious situations. Now let us play the next clip here. You need to understand where we are going tonight. So we just want to show the people how hypocritical Andrew Holness is.
24 babies dead since the start of the month. That's quite the alarming news there today, Thursday, June 26th from Jamaica, that since the start of the month, June 1, 24 babies have died at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital, the largest maternity hospital in the English-speaking Caribbean. That number is leaving many deeply concerned, and health authorities are reportedly having an urgent high-level meeting to investigate what's behind this spike. The Victoria Jubilee Hospital has faced criticism in the past, as in 2022, 12 babies reportedly died as a result of bacterial outbreak at the health facility. Since the news broke today, concerns are being raised about infection control, nurse-to-patient ratio, and if there are other deeper systemic issues at play. Meanwhile, in an interview this evening with Nationwide News, Jamaica's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Jacqueline Bisesa McKenzie, says that while investigations are ongoing, she does not believe that the deaths are as a result of negligence.
You would know how sensitive this matter is. The so-called dead baby scandal from a few years back, a lot of people still remember that. Following up on Sanjay's earlier question, can you assure the Jamaican people that so far all you have seen indicates that proper protocols were being followed at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital and none of this can be attributed to carelessness or negligence?
So let me spin it.
Well, we continue to investigate, but yes, so far from what we have seen, I'm really proud of the efforts that the team has put in.
Okay, so my Jamaican people, you see how the spin doctors, right, nationwide, spin that, right? And remember that Andrew Holness, as it relates to 18 babies died, he said you should have the minister head. The minister should be fired. Now, Andrew Holness is not firing Christopher Tufton now, and 24 died in 1 month. Just think of it. Think of that. Now, let us get into, yes, brother Racketeering. Let me just give you the opportunity to address, right, the previous matter. Right?
Yeah, with Minister Vaz.
Yes.
Couple of things. One is, and I think Pastor Ricky mentioned it, he was a U.S. citizen while serving in the Jamaican Parliament. Now, there's something critical to that I don't think a lot of people have touched on. If you're a U.S. citizen and you're working outside the U.S., you're supposed to pay U.S. taxes where you work.
Yes.
I don't know if Mr. Vaz was paying his taxes while being a parliamentarian or while working in Jamaica. It would be interesting to see if the IRS would have an interest in that, because they certainly can go back and hold him liable for that, and they have penalties and interest, and that would amount to a tremendous amount of money.
Just what we can inform the IRS.
Yeah, beg your pardon?
So we can inform the IRS. If the IRS, remember, we can inform the IRS.
Oh yeah, they'd have an interest in that. And then the law was screwy because, like in Australia, and there was a famous case in Australia, where the person was a citizen, dual citizen, and what happened, the person was discharged from the parliament. They didn't say, renounce and then you can stay. They was like, no, you have to go. And so the person left. Second thing is that this person, Darrell Vaz, show up in a lot of instances. If you recall the tank oil situation where I think he was even arrested for that, where they claimed that he was trying to bribe a policeman or something to that effect. But he was involved in something having to do with the Bicknell, the tank oil.
Yes.
Now, rooms on the beach. Let's talk about that for a bit. Rooms on the beach. I looked at the valuation put out by the contractor general. And folks, brace yourself. Here are the true numbers. And you can go look at it yourself. The hotel rooms on the beach was sold for $5 million. There were 3 or 4 landscape areas and a beach sold for $2 million, $7 million. Here's what they got for free. They got another beach.
Whoa.
They got 4 landscape and access areas for free. Now, how did they get it for free? The $7 million went before the cabinet. Went before the cabinet, and the cabinet approved it. And then the Mexicans came back and said, oh, by the way, we need this beach here in front of the hotel, and we need all of these 4 access areas. They resubmitted the whole thing to the cabinet and still sold the entire package for $7 million. even though it was appraised for 13.2 or 13.4 million dollars.
13.4.
Yeah. Who would have, what kind of deal is that? And UDC had approved it, for 9 million. UDC had approved for 9 million. So how did it get to 7? And the contractor general was very critical of the role that Minister Vaz played. He was very, very critical of it. And he sent the report to the auditor general, who said, well, there's nothing I can do further with your report. So here is something I want you to think about, everybody. I want you to think about this. The rooms on the beach, they started negotiating in 2016, shortly after the government the JLP took power. It was sold around April 2017. Now, Mystic, you're saying that Darrell Vaz went to Mexico in 2019.
2019, that is correct.
Yes. Well, here is something, a little known fact. In 2020, the Mexicans rescinded the deal and the Jamaicans give them back them down payment.
Huh?
Yes. So the money that was allegedly collected, did he pay that back to the Mexicans? Where did that money go? Or was that money part of the money that the Jamaican out of the consolidated fund that they paid out of the budget to give back the Mexicans? Where is that money?
I don't know.
Where is that money? Because you're saying that he collected in 2019. But
Yes.
what I know for a fact is that the Jamaican government paid back the Mexicans in 2020 because the Mexicans said, because of the public uproar about it, the Mexicans said, okay, we're going to rescind the deal. And they rescinded the deal, and the Jamaican government had to give them back them down payment.
Mm-hmm.
No, nobody has ever looked to say, well, wait a minute, the down payment that they got, did that include, was that only the money that the Mexicans paid as a down payment, or was it something extra?
All right. But Ratty, let me give you a parallel with that question that you asked. If you remember the NHD deal, right, with what is his name? The NHD
Something another
Dexam, with Dexim.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The $600 million that was given to Dexim, right? And where the secret court issue and all of that. I am asking Ratty, do we have any information as it relates to the government getting back that money from Dexim?
To the best of my knowledge, right? I don't know. I don't know, because listen, it's a good point you raise, right? It's a good point to raise to supplement the one I made, which is that monies are being paid out and there's no accounting. There's no accounting because look, Mexicans are around with their money, And if and as you said, if him take a money in 2019, he might forgive back that money there.
Yes.
Take a money in 2019, he might forgive back that money there. No, 2020 the man said to the Jamaican government, you know what? We are rescinding. We now go through with the deal. Give back our money. I know that property is actually leased right now. It's leased. But the Mexicans say we want back our money, and the Jamaican government paid them. But what we don't know is, did they pay them the down payment plus? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And if they only paid them the down payment, and if we assume that Mr. Vaz took this money in 2019, how am I going to pay back that money?
All right.
How am I going to pay that money? And you see where a deal like the bus deal would be handy, would come in quite handy.
All right, Ratty, you're 6 minutes up. Sorry.
I give it back. I paused
Hey,
when
$3
the
trillion
so 6 minutes up.
maybe them
What-
pay
what-
back
what-
out of the 3 trillion. Never know.
What Pastor Ricky said?
Now I said $3 trillion get chopped and missing and stolen. So maybe them pay back some out of that 3 trillion. Because in the
All right.
Prime Minister office alone, 12.2 billion gone.
Yes.
Okay.
But when you rob a bank, right, you can go back and,
Say sorry, here's the money back.
and say, sorry, here's the money. Here's the money back. You understand? The corruption has already done.
Right.
Now, let us get into the next clip. Because we are on the health ministry now, worse tonight, bangarang tonight. Now let us get into the bangarang tonight. Tonight, Christopher Tufton. Now, my Jamaican people, I want you to listen to this clip keenly.
In April 2025, the Health Ministry announced it would take roughly $23.5 billion to completely fix the Cornwall Regional Hospital.
Up to this point, we have spent $9.4 billion.
The $9 billion sum includes an allocation for professional services, infrastructure work, medical equipment, temporary facilities to accommodate patients and staff, as well as support services.
This involves some 35 contractors, as I understand it, with a procurement process that at times involves 5 to 7 months to reach a decision. The much talked about 23 billion price tag is a projection. Yes, it's by us, a projection, but we haven't spent it as yet. And we are not there yet. The narrative, therefore, of criticizing cost overrun based on $24 billion is not only an exaggeration, it is a dishonest description of the challenge that we face at Cornwall Regional and the approach that we have taken.
The parliamentary opposition has criticized the government for lengthy delays on the project, which has been ongoing for roughly 8 years. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton reiterated that the new and improved Cornwall Regional Hospital will have 11 new operating theatres, new machines for diagnostic services, a new maternity suite and intensive care unit. As that project continues, focus too on the Kingston Public Hospital, which is grappling with poor infrastructure.
I'm happy to announce that we have now identified lands for lease to purchase and have commenced plans for a new KPH. Mr. Speaker, a land use survey report was prepared on the properties around KPH, inclusive of the 35 parcels identified, and the National Land Agency is coordinating the compulsory acquisition of the required lands.
In the meantime, there's also a plan to improve operating theatres. Statistics show that roughly 25% of the 73 operating theatres in the public health system are usually out of use, leading to delays in surgeries. Each hospital is now mandated to appoint an operating theatre manager to schedule and maintain services.
Secondly,
people, let me tell you, say, a serious bangarang here so tonight, and I am happy or Ratigan in this space. Jamaica people, I want you to write down what you have just heard. Tufton said that the amount of money spent thus far on Cornwall Regional Hospital is $9.4 billion. I want people to write that down. He said the argument as it relates to speaking to about $23 billion, that is only a projected cost. A projected cost, right? They haven't reached there as yet to want to hold that. So $9.4 billion spent on Cornwall Regional Hospital, right? And the 23 billion, right, is a projected cost. That is what is expected to finish Cornwall Regional Hospital. I want the panel carefully listen to what I'm saying. Now, let us move on to the next clip. Captain, you are in big trouble, serious trouble. Now, let us, get to the next clip. I want people to hear it.
The year 2015, public health in Jamaica was in a deep, dark hole, was in crisis under the People's National Party. It was so bad that one young doctor, speaking on behalf of other doctors, made a big speech carried all over the media, Him say it is so bad that doctors have to use scandal bag to make scandal apron to perform surgery in the public health system under the PNP in 2015. I don't mean say so. I him say so. In 2016, the Jamaica Labour Party took office, and we saw the challenges in public health, and we set out to fix it. We exchanged the scandal apron for a shopping bag, and we decided to go shopping to upgrade the health infrastructure in this country. And as Edward Seaga, the great, would say, it takes cash to care. This government has moved the health budget from $60 billion in 2016 to $140 billion in 2023.
Take him away. Take him away. I hope Christopher Tufton will listen to me tonight. Christopher Tufton, I hope you're listening to me tonight, Christopher. Let me say to Jamaica as it relates to what we just heard. What Christopher Tufton is saying that the total money spent in the health sector, right, is $140 billion. He had moved the budget, he had increased the budget from $60 billion to $140 billion. What are you gonna bang around in tonight? Let me tell you.
80 billion increase.
Hold on. We want the people to write that down, write that down. Right? Tough time out of his mouth said the Jamaica Labour Party administration, right? Total expenditure as it relates to the Ministry of Health is $140 billion. Let us get into the next clip. Now, tough time. Why you and Jonas and who you have as bucketive? Listen to me tonight. Let us get into the next clip. Right? We are going to show Jamaica. Right? Let us get into the article and hear what Michael Abrams has to say. And then we get into the evidence, Mr. Christopher Tufton. Right? And I am glad that we have Brother Racketeering in this place. Michael Abrams calling out Dr. Tufton. Now, people, watch this. The management of our health sector under the watch of Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, is cause for concern. And yes, Mr. Abrams, you're right. For starters, the Auditor General has repeatedly flagged the Ministry of Health and Wellness for awarding contracts without putting them out to tender, not following procurement procedures, and not accounting for large sums of money. People, bang around tonight. Now, we're going to show some certain evidences here. For example, according to a news report, during the fiscal year 2017 to 2018, over 7 million worth of computer equipment went missing. People want to listen to this. Also, there was no evidence of procurement processes for almost $18 million that was spent. And no evidence of the permanent secretary's approval of the relevant contracts from 2018 to 2019, $288,900 US dollars. Over 35 million was spent on consulting services for 9 months with what? No competitive process or advertisement. In 2022, The Auditor General detected several anomalies in how funds allocated to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic were spent by the ministry, and also cited the entity for failing to abide by the Financial Administration and Audit Act. Among other things, it was discovered that 337 million was paid to 7 hotels and guest houses to provide quarantine accommodations. You see why the PSLJ, right? And as it relates to Adams, right? That is Bush Watson, silent on these matters. But only one of them was contracted for formally. Also, 124 million was also paid to 8 suppliers for infrastructural work. Without any contracts, people want to listen to this, because tonight I'm Bangarang. Jamaica, tonight at Bangarang. It was also reported that 2 million was spent on television sets and tablets for which there was no indication of their relevance to the ministry COVID-19 response initiatives. Contracts reportedly awarded to persons associated with Dr. Tufton have also arose suspicion. Don't really know. Worries tonight. In 2020, he was taken to task over contracts that were awarded to Market Me, a company run by someone who was allegedly closely associated with him, for Jamaica Moved a healthy lifestyle program. It was revealed that the Ministry of Health and Wellness awarded several contracts totaling more than 80 million to the company, now Jamaica, which was the only one considered for the job. More recently, it was reported that the contract for storing the bodies of patients who died at the Kingston Public Hospital has been awarded to Archer's Funeral Home in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. The funeral home is run by Michael Archer, a Jamaica Labour Party councillor in the Red Hills division of the St. Catherine West Central constituency, of which Dr. Tufton is the member of parliament. So grieving family members, many of whom are impoverished, must trek 18 miles away from KPH to another parish to retrieve the remains of their loved ones. On see the level of wickedness and criminality, when in the past, some of them could have walked to a funeral home in the vicinity of the hospital. This is a cruel act, and as with the Market Me scenario, the optics are not good, and one would not be unreasonable to wonder if alleged cronyism is at play in both instances. Now take it away on him to get into the meat of the matter. Now, remember, Jamaica people, Tufton came out and said the total spent, right? And said the total spent, right, is $160 billion. Now that we hear?
Yeah.
They are here. Jamaica, both locally and in diaspora, we all hear that. Christopher Tufton said the total spent is 160 billion. Let us get into the Auditor General report. People bang around there and ask Christopher Tufton and Andrew only some questions. Let us get into that. I am going to ask some questions here tonight. Right? Let me just relax. Because Christopher Tufton need to come out. Andrew only need to come out and explain to Jamaica people what is going on. Now, Jamaica people, watch this. Tardy accounts block assessment of 700 billion spent by Health Ministry. Christopher Tufton and his political campaign is telling us, Jamaica, that the Jamaica Labour Party responsible to have spent only $160 billion. Let us read into this. Jamaica taxpayers and the parliament are still unable to assess how the Ministry of Health and Wellness spent almost $700 billion in public resources allocated to the ministry over a 10-year period. People are not say that, you know. I know Racketeering said this, you know. I know Springs said this. I know Melton Potter said this. I know Pastor Ricky said this. Tufton is saying that the Jamaica Labour Party administration is responsible for the total expenditure of $160 billion. But this is what now the Auditor General is saying, that almost $700 billion in public resources allocated to the ministry over a 10-year period, owing to the apparent failure by Permanent Secretary Dunstan Bryan to submit the appropriation accounts to the Auditor General in keeping with the Financial Administration and Audit Act. Now Dunstan Bryan have to run away. Have to run away, Dunstan Bryan. You must run away. So when you tell people about your going and study leave and run left Jamaica, and they allowed you to do that because Tufton is saying that it is $160 billion spent. The Auditor General is saying it is over $700 billion. When you come talk to me, no people. When you come talk to us. Come.
Unaccounted for.
Again, according to the Auditor General Department, and Tuesday revealed that backlog of appropriation accounts that had been flagged in successive annual reports of the Auditor General are yet to be submitted for review. Now, let me say this. Now, when I talk about you asking third term and seeking third term from Jamaican people, in terms of what you are doing now to Jamaican people, you are killing our people. Now, Janet Calder, Executive Director of the Jamaica Accountability, right, that Racketeering previously had spoken to, says she is not surprised that there is no progress at the Health Ministry regarding its legal obligation to account for the money, right, the public has provided over the last 10 years. She contends that this is not a new problem and has been allowed to persist for decades. Now watch this. The Health and Wellness Ministry reported early last year that the appropriation account for fiscal year, people remember the appropriation account supposed to submit, right, on a yearly basis. So here what now being revealed here. The appropriation account for fiscal year 2013 to 2014, to 2022 to 2023, and up until 2025. No appropriation account going into a general election. Going into a general election. Andrew Wallace asking Jamaican people to vote for him and vote for Christopher Tufton, and we don't have an appropriation account being submitted. It is $700 billion in expenditures that cannot account for. And Christopher Tufton is saying only $160 billion. No, had been completed and submitted to the internal audit unit of the Ministry for verification. However, more than a year later, the documents have not yet been delivered, and up until 2025, the documents have not been delivered. Take this away. Now, let me just Melting Pot just ease his butt for a while. I want to speak to the lawyer and the panel.
Okay, based on the brevity of this discussion, I'm going to give 8 minutes, an extra 2 minutes.
Okay, all right. You know what? Let us extend it to about 10 minutes, right? Based on what we have speaking about. Brother Racketeering, let me speak to you one-on-one here. Now, Brother Racketeering, Tufton is saying, based on what he's saying, his total expenditure, as he knows it, that he had spent $160 billion. He had moved the budget, right, from 60 billion to 140 billion. The Auditor General is saying over $700 billion unaccounted for. Brother Ratigan, talk to us as it relates to the variances that we are looking on here. And why Christopher Tufton report as it relates to the expenditures is grossly different from the Auditor General as it relates to 700 billion. Talk to us, Brother Ratigan.
You know, I don't need 10 minutes for this. This I can just wrap this up real short. It's not just Christopher Tufton, you know, but we're going to focus on him. It's this idea that you throw money at a problem and they don't tell you about results. Them just say, we spend more money than any other administration. And what is so sad is that a lot of our people hear this and them ray, and they don't ask the pertinent question, which is, okay, show us value for money. You say you spend more than any other administration, show us how it's going to benefit or how it's benefiting the nation. And in this case with Christopher Tufton, we know that it has not benefited the nation. You don't need to go further than look at the travel advisory, where the US, UK, and Canada, they basically said, don't go to Jamaica and get sick, you know. Please don't go there and get sick, because you're probably going to die if you go there and get sick, because the medical sector is in complete disarray. They don't know. And we see the videos to prove it. We see the videos. But I need people to understand that when them tell us that them spend more money on national security, you ask them, have we gotten value for the more money? When them tell you in the health sector, we spend more money. And so they use this idea that they've spent more money as a badge of victory. Like, yes, we are victorious. We have done something good. No, all I'm doing is spend out the people, spend out the taxpayers' money. That's all I'm going to do. The other thing too is this. What I would like to see, and I said it before, and I'll say it again. Should the Almighty bless Mark Bolin and the opposition party, and them want to reach out to me, the only job me interested in, I mean, now I get it, is Integrity Commission and Auditor General. Because you know why? I want like a surcharge pandemic, you know, because 160 billion, I say go 160 billion, and the difference between 700 billion, him have to go pay that out in pocket. Me go to the financial secretary and say, listen, the difference is a loss to the Jamaican people, and therefore, based on this reckless, this negligent, actually it's intentional misspending of our money, him have to come out and pocket and pay the thing. And until them do this, and I understand the position that the Auditor General is in, that she can't really go out there. She do her little thing and she make a little recommendation and but we need somebody more aggressive with them people. Yeah. We need to say, no, we are gonna send out the surcharge action. And then when you send it out, you mean it. Not like what them do with Grace McLean, which part the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Finance, them did their dilly-dally and the 3 years gone. The same thing them do with now them can't even get the money from Dean Roy Bernard. The money gone. And we suspect that the same thing going to happen again with this. Because you know why, Jamaican people? We're not keeping our eye on the ball. And what is the ball? The money. Follow the money. Don't follow what they must say. Follow the money. You cannot go wrong. Every time you follow the money, you're going to be right. Because when you follow the money, you're going to catch the people who have the money. You're going to catch them. And several members of the panel mentioned the SWIFT system. Some of these monies, people not gone are the days when they would have just stuff money in a suitcase. And them days are over. It's wire transfers. And most, if not all, the wire transfers coming out of Jamaica is the SWIFT system, is the US banking system. And the US guards that jealously, them say we don't want nobody come into our banking system. And if we find that people are use money originating from corruption or kleptocracy in our system, we're going after those people. And that's why it's important for you to sign the Magnitsky Act. You have to tune in Sunday. You have to sign it, because this is what we're talking about. Far too long we let them people just do what they want. And remember, it was Minister Vaz who said that we don't dark and stupid. I him say it, you know. Him say them don't dark and stupid. Him say some of we have degrees, and a few of us have common sense. And them say, I have common sense. So you guess what? Most of we are dumb, dark, stupid. That's why them can't do what them do and get away with it, because that is the mentality. That is the mentality, people. And so we now have to show, we have to take up the gauntlet and show them, say, no, 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 no. You may come from a different station in life. You may come from a family that's influential, but you no better than me. You no better than me. The same way you put on your pants are the same way me put on my pants. Same way you go to the toilet, same way me go to the toilet. And by the way, you are my servant. Me give you a job to serve me. So where the hell you get off and come tell me, say me dumb, dark, and stupid? After me vote for you, you tell me, say me dumb, dark, and stupid? I yield.
All right. Wonderful, Ratty. Now, Melting Pot, you have heard the situation as it relates to Christopher Tufton on his campaign trail, right? Touting that his administration, right, increased the budget for health care because, as according to him, he cared, right? We only know same care for him and Andrew in his pocket. And so then you have an increase from 60 billion to 140 billion. Now the problem is that Christopher Tufton saying that the total expenditures as according to his awareness is 160 billion. Now you have the auditor general, the contractor general is saying 700 billion unaccounted for, which give me a variance of $536 billion. What say you on the matter, Melting Pot?
Well, everything point to Christopher Tufton line to the relevant authority. You understand? And everything also point to Christopher Tufton and his cronies stealing all these funds. Because, you know, him say him increased the healthcare budget from 60 billion to 140. That is an $80 billion increase. Yeah. But then further assessment by the contractor general shows over $700 billion was black because of the accountancy. You understand? Over a 10-year period. And Christopher Tufton also come and put out a new figure of $160 billion being spent in the healthcare. So as you rightly pointed out, it leaves a surplus of over 500 billion unaccounted for. So Christopher Tufton needs to come tell me.
Variance of 536 billion.
Right, yes. He needs to come tell me what happened to the money there. You understand? But I'm going to show you when we catch Christopher Tufton. A lie. Categorically a lie. Him say, him spend $9 billion down at Cornwall Regional Hospital. Yeah, and him said that in regard to $23.5 billion, yeah, been mentioned. But he said that that was just a projected figure at the outset. Now, if a program, you know, whoever come up and do the valuation of the program, project $23.5 billion. Yeah, that means you have budget for that $23.5 billion there, you know, because you get relevant authority to come do an assessment. And them tell us that's the number. But here is you now, having a budget of $23.5 billion, spend $9 billion where you say, over this vast 9-year period, it can't done. But we still recently here said want 500 million to finish it. So we ask Tufton where go on in that sector there, because you should have a bag of money left, you know, out of the 23.5 billion, you know. What it projected, you know, because you only spend 9. So all we here say the project run shorter expense. We no can't finance the project, it's shorter money. I don't know why 500 million, something like that, to finish it off. We are going Tufton. Because them number you not add up, you know.
No.
No way, shape, or form the number them not add up. Yeah, and you gonna tie yourself more in a handness when you come out and lie like this publicly. Because you are contradicting yourself in regards to the numbers that is there from the outset. Because if you said the 23.5 billion was a projected number, you know, that is there from the outset. But you only spend 9 billion out of it. So where is the rest? Come tell me where the rest there. Walk now, Trapper John, you get all of the rest for Lampan.
Or Keisha Mac.
Or Keisha Mac. I don't know where I go on, but something I go on down the seven and look right. And it smells stink of corruption. So tough thing have a lot for come tell about. Yeah? But when you look on what Gene Calder said in regards to whatever I go on with, as it relates to 2013, to 2014, to 2022 and 2023, no appropriation of accountability has been submitted to the Auditor General. You know, say a Dalios the man ever play, man. A Dalios game them there, you know.
Definitely.
Dalios game the man them bring come in a government business. Ramp with taxpayers' money at thief it left, right, and center. So we want, when the right time come, tough time need to pay back all of them money there, you know. Because we not see no value for them money there, you know. Yeah, but contractor general has shown us something in the region of over $700 billion in a year 10 years. Yeah. So where the money that tough tongue? 85 million, we know go to your sweetheart, you know, for market me, you know. And when it's a market me, it was you were talking about. But I'm gonna put it out there like, you know, market me was for the people. You get 85 million for market you yourself. You understand?
Yes.
Because we not see nothing. Get off the ground with no market me in Jamaica. Because the people have not enough money for buying enough food to begin with. The quality food we for market them. I be a starting food the people them have for life and rice and flour, tin mackerel. Yeah? So that was a fraud scheme, yeah, your sweetheart. Use and rob Jamaica 85 million. So we know about that 85 million there. But Tough Tongue come tell about the rest. You understand? I will see where you and your friend Archer are deal with some criminality business as it relates to dead babies. Yet want to carry 18 miles away from the people because that is a Ponzi scheme you and Archer running up. And known Jamaica Labour Party supporter, the same party where you affiliated to. And this Archer funeral parlor has been mentioned in several corruption. So it just show, as I said long time to my Titan brethren, them, you know, when we're on the program, you know. Me say when time the right time coming, you know, the amount of people we are going to charge in Jamaica for corruption outside of the parliamentarian them is unbelievable. No two ways about it. A whole heap of people in a society contrive with the Jamaica Labour Party to rob and bring down Jamaica taxpayers funding. You understand? And so, as a result of that, every day is more and more increased on tax. Because that gap have to plug back, you know. It have to plug back. So, all them around the country, it's like you have a grocery shop, yeah? And you have your big son named Tough Tongue and you put him in there. We run the shop, well stock, you know. Tough Tongue now sell nobody nothing in and put in the till, you know. Tough Tongue a give away. I give away the goods. No money now come in. So when you look at the shop now, the shop run down empty and broke. And you can't see no money for put back nothing in there. So what you have to do? You have got to turn to the source of the expenditure, which is the taxpayers. So that's why the taxpayers might feel it hard. So when we are talking to the people in Jamaica, especially the done slavery right that we have about them criminal here, we don't need to know, sir, we don't have to pay back the money. Because the money has to go back there. That is why Andrew can't stop taxing up to car seat him, they don't want tax on offer. Up to the mass, him use it and tax on. Because Andrew knows between him and him cronies them, Trillions of Jamaican dollar gone missing and accounted for. You understand? Where them embezzle. You understand? So when we come on the platform and I teach you the right from the wrong, we want to listen to it and understand carefully. This is not a political witch hunt. This is holding people in authority accountable. Because remember the Prime Minister saying, the reason why them not perform, because we choose to pay them meager salary and treat them with schizophrenia. So them they deserve the 230 to 300% increase for them get with day. That's how when Nancy and Jones come tell we. But the young perform, when we see the man of a perform is steep in the taxpayers' money daily. Misappropriating the taxpayers' money daily. Kickback between them and friend with taxpayers' entity daily. As it relates to beach property and all these things where Jamaican taxpayers own. And that them are doing in the country. So we have to bring them guys to justice. And justice can only come when the right time come. Because the nasty DPP, where them have run them and shield them, we can't have she preside over none of them cases, you know, because she be behind bars. She be there prison too. I remember the whole heap of permanent secretary them where we have. We are signing off on them corruption deal and the whole of them are going to prison. All the surveillance.
13
and
seconds.
don't stand, Brian. We are locked them behind bars forever. I yield back the floor.
All right. There you go, Sister Pinks. Start with your 10 minutes to deal with the case here.
Okay, since my two brothers went into details of basically all of that, I'm going to tell my story from a different side of the issue. I want Jamaicans to know that before Tufton was elected to become Minister of Health, he was a tenant manager for a company in Montego Bay. In regards, he would go overseas and see tenants for some BPOs, or what you call call centers in Jamaica. So he used to work with this company that build these buildings and would rent out these areas for call centers. So Tufton used to go and get tenants for this company. Tufton is also a part owner for a gas station in St. Elizabeth. He had all of this going on before he became elected last time and became Minister of Health. Now, during that time, I met him and his wife and his kids, beautiful family, everything like that. Now, after he got elected, um, and became Minister of Health. He came up with this thing called Jamaica Move to keep us healthy, keep us to discourage us from having lifestyle diseases. Now, lifestyle diseases also come with a healthy diet. And if people cannot afford to eat properly, and if people can't afford to buy the food that they want, how can they have and practice a healthy lifestyle, Dr. Tufton? Because lifestyle diseases are one of the reasons our healthcare sector is full of so many patients. Now, you have a good idea at the time, but it was not practical to be executed. The other thing is this, as Melkin Pop mentioned about Market Me. Market Me was a privately made company by Tufton. He is the owner of that company. And the primary reason for that company was to market, do PR, and the person he was targeting was us, Jamaicans. But here's the trick to it now, Jamaica. And I want my Jamaicans to try and understand it. During the time of Edward Seaga, he created API, a Jamaican media company that would do broadcast for the government. So anything that's government related would come through API. API became JIS, and we all know that JIS does every government broadcast. All the information that government needs to transfer to us or to give us comes through GIS. Therefore, Jamaica, we did not need market needs.
Exactly.
So that is the con that we were conned by Tufton. That $85 million also need to be returned to Jamaica because we do not need or did not need market needs to market or do any PR stuff when we Jamaicans are the client. To that privately owned company in which Tufton is the only owner for that company. And the only person working with him at the time was his new sweetheart. The other point I would like to make is this. The rice that you eat every Sunday in your Jamaican rice and peas is imported by a son of Tufton. Jamaican, if you never know, your rice and peas, Sunday rice and peas, is the rice is imported by a son of Tufton. He has the license to bring it into the country. He has the sole license to import rice into this country.
Mighty God.
So every time you eat your rice and peas on a Sunday, try to remember that you're supporting Tufton and his son's business.
Okay.
So these people, so when Tufton came out some time ago and said that he has to feed his family, I am wondering which family he's talking about because he and his wife are separated. His son is managing his own one business. One of his sons is managing one business. They have things going on before he was elected. So what is Tufton talking about? Again, it's another con for us Jamaicans to vote him in back in. Jamaicans, how longer will you endure this conman parading as Minister of Health and Wellness? Remember, Jamaica, after one of the planes crashed in Jamaica here, no crew, no cargo. Weeks after, Tufton claimed that he and his friends were on a beach and these non-native Jamaicans just happened to walk on the beach that they were on. Conveniently. Jamaicans, none of us were born when our mothers went to market. And you can read and you have common sense, just like Darrell Vaz. So if you know you have common sense, just like Darrell Vaz and Christopher Tufton, you need to let them know when you're voting in the next election to vote against these corrupt con men. And I would like to know if the money is allotted to pay the professional services for Cornwall Regional Hospital includes Papa John, the cook. Papa John,
As I speak about
you're
that,
a cook.
as I speak about that, because I
Yes,
turn on the heat, Chopper John
yes,
is no longer there.
yes. Turn on the heat.
Yes, so Chopper
Thank
John is
you.
no longer there. So we need to tell them that.
Exactly. He's no longer at Cornwall Regional Hospital. We found that out.
Western Regional.
Jamaicans, we're not working in vain, you know. Western Regional Children and Adolescent Hospital. He's no longer the project manager there.
No, he's no longer. Because we
So
turn up the heat.
we're wondering, yeah, man, because he belongs in the kitchen.
Exactly.
So we're wondering when are they going to move Keisha Mack now because she needs a first degree for that position. And she only have an associate degree to my understanding. So Keisha Mack, you need to come to the front of the class and tell us how that is going on right now with our $25 million missing from down at the metro in Montego Bay. I'm a Montegonian and I would like to know. I am curious to know. Back to Tufton now. Tufton, as Minister of Health, you need to stop asking the mayor of Portland to do the maths for you when you're making your speeches in Parliament. Here, take my advice. Check Damon Crawford to help you
Right.
with your math. So your math can make sense because we can see it does not make any sense.
Okay.
I yield the floor.
All right. Thank you. Now we have Pastor Ricky. 10 minutes is burning. Pastor Ricky, rally out on them.
Yeah, thank you. This is a classic case of racketeering, embezzlement of taxpayers' funds via cost overrun. And when you hear the corrupt criminal health minister says that they always deflect and distract from the truth. So he said when they came in, there was a health crisis and scandal bags were used and them get a new shopping bag and start building the health system. That's what he says, but we know that's a lie. And so increasing the budget from $60 billion over the 9 years plus they're in government to an additional $80 billion to make it to $140 billion, which is accumulated to be $80 billion. But we don't see the evidence of the spending that they have claimed with that 80 billion. There's no medications, no ventilations machine, no CT scans, no x-rays, no ambulances. I mean, shortage of bed. Nurses are working under stress. Doctors protesting wearing black. They're not getting paid. So where did the $80 billion went? But what I want to point out also is that the Gleaner article that you just went over, that's from Ms. Cutler from JAMS. And the Auditor General issued her report after that. JAMS said it was 700 billion that was unaccounted for, missing, chapped, or stolen, or gone, disappeared. But the Auditor General in her report says it was a total of 830 billion. So
Yeah,
I would agree with the Auditor General assessments or findings. So if you subtract the $160 billion from 830 billion, it leaves a variance or balance in terms of 670 billion. So we are seeing the cost overrun like you showed in the scanners at the airport, cost overrun. The Vinci Water Project, cost overrun. The drill that costs 3 to 5 million to 31.5 million, cost overrun. And this is another classic of cost overrun at Cornwall Regional Hospital, which we know this is a eat food government. There's no doubt about that. From the Prime Minister, the Member of Parliament, the Cabinet Secretary Sewell, the Permanent Secretary Dunstan Bryant, who runway, and everybody forget our food off of this project. Now, I have an MBA, Master's in Business Administration. That's my second degree. My first degree is a Bachelor's in Management. And I've managed assets of a $1 million assets in generating in funds per week. And I work with the federal government in Washington, D.C., where I had a portfolio of $70 billion a day. And I'm going to say this, to take on a project at Cornwall Regional Hospital, and I'm not tooting my horn because I don't go around bigging up myself. I stay humble, but for conversational purposes, let me just say this. To take on a project such as Cornwall Regional Hospital, number one, you need to do a cost allocation to identify the cost that's associated with this project. Number two, you need a project manager and a project manager that is certified, not someone who have a culinary certificate that they took him 2 years to earn.
Them good man, them have Papa John.
Well, a culinary certificate, not even a degree, a certificate is not going to cut it with Cornwall Regional.
The government is sick.
And so when you have a cost allocation plan and a project manager in place to take on a project like this magnitude, it's going to require you have salary expenses for the engineer, the architect that's going to design, the engineer, the laborers, the skilled workers that's going to be working there, the electrician, the plumbers, everybody, just call them laborers. So that's salary expense. Then you have equipment expenses. So it tells you how much money you're going to have to spend or appropriate or allotted as it relates to purchasing equipment for the project. Then you're going to have supply expenses. And then you're going to have contractual expenses in the event that you got to, contract some part of it out to the Chinese, like what I'm going to know. And then you're going to have indirect costs that's associated to the project, but not direct costs, but indirect costs. So when you factor all of these things in as it relates to project and project management and the value that from day one, them should have known how much this project are gonna cost.
Exactly.
From day one, from the moment them thought about doing Cornwall Regional Hospital, you draft up a cost allocation plan, you hire project management staff and a project manager with it, and you should have known from day one. There's no way under the sun that if you are a competent government that you're gonna make a project from 2 billion and then it gone to 26 billion. Chopping, man, a big time chopping are gone. Chop them a chop. Everybody are eat a food off of this thing. And so Tufton need to go to prison. When I stop say, Tufton is a criminal. When you think of the taxpayers' money, this government behave as if taxpayer money belong to them. We hear criminal Warmington say him nah give a PMP councillor any money for fix the road because I fee money. We see how bars them operate, bringing school bus and a go on like a them own it when a taxpayer's $1.4 billion purchase it. So this government have no regards for taxpayers. And so them are embezzle taxpayers' money, them are pocket it in them own pocket, and them are enrich themselves off it. So now I am asking the next incoming government, I know they promised to do a forensic audit across all government agency wide, all 19 agency and 15 government ministry, including the Prime Minister's office. And I'm asking this government to ensure that any one of them squeeze through the election, since we don't know, well, we know one Well, we know 2 are the illicit, the wife and the prime minister, 2 of the 10 illicit enrichers. The other 8, any one of them squeeze 2 and win them seat. I'm asking the next government coming in, Comrade Mark Golding. The first piece of legislation and the need for pass in the parliament, in the new parliament life that begins after the election, is the Impeachment Act. Anybody squeeze through the election, since them now want to reveal the illicit 10 list, anybody squeeze through it, they need to impeach them and remove them from the parliament. Exactly. These people rob enough and thief enough from the taxpayers of Jamaica. Them no need to come back in a government and thief no more. Seriously, the Impeachment Act is the first piece of legislation the new government need to pass and impeach them and move them from the parliament. The next thing I want to say before my time up, Sir Racketeering have a Magnitsky petition who have been circulating from how much time? I share it. Many times I share it. On the need for sign that petition because the Magnitsky, the US Global Magnitsky Accountability Human Rights Act was passed in the US Congress in 2016 to go after the Russian oligarchs. And anybody in any country in the world, the US can go for them. And there's nothing them can do about it. So no need for sign the Magnitsky petition act that Sir Racketeering has been circulating for so much weeks now. Because them need to all be held accountable. They are not above the law. Finally, they are not above the law. The Constitution of Jamaica is the supreme law of the land that governs the people of Jamaica. And none of them in the government, not even the criminal prime minister and criminal Vaz and criminal Tufton, none of them is above the Constitution. They behave that way. Why? Because they have a bucketive, the corrupt DPP will protect them. But let me say this. This Magnitsky, Global Magnitsky Act of the United States Accountability Human Rights Act, none of them are going to get extradited. Comrade Leader Mark Golding, seize them asset, freeze them onshore and offshore bank account, lock all of the port of entry. Don't make none of them run where go Canada or any other island. Make them stay at Jamaica and face justice. Back over to you, Byron.
All right, well done and well said, Pastor Ricky. And of course, it is the DPP who are allowed, right, the continuation of the corruption to spread through Jamaica. Jamaica, where we are going again, is a very serious cause of concern because I am going to expose one of Jamaica's biggest conman. And again, Darrell Vaz came up in this again as it relates to one of Jamaica's biggest conman. One of Jamaica's biggest conman that owned several guards companies that fabricated a lie to get government contract and to get billions of dollars. And where Darrell Vaz and that person, Kenneth Benjamin, and you may talk, come in front of the class. You understand? Because you're a big con man, mystic sensation, say that, and we are going to expose it tonight. So yes, Kenneth Benjamin, you create a program that you call Metaverse, right? And want to join, as according to you, with the government to offer, right, solid security to Jamaica. But what you offered, you didn't have it. You told Jamaica lie, you and Darrell Vaz and other member of parliament as it relates to Andrew Holness con the Jamaican people, right? And wanted for the Jamaican government to give you billions of dollars in contract. But guess what? It didn't work then because you got busted and exposed. You got busted and exposed, and we're going to show the evidence. But guess what, Jamaica? They wait until it cool off a couple months. Because when it came out first, Mystic Sensation exposed it. and they went back under the rock. Kenneth Benjamin went back under his rock and silent because Mystic Sensation exposed him. But he waited. And recently, again, Kenneth Benjamin came out and where the government still attempt to give Kenneth Benjamin the billions of dollars of contract, and Kenneth Benjamin doesn't have the service to offer. Kenneth Benjamin, we are going to expose you again tonight. Now look, Kenneth Benjamin, in terms of what you had promised, you understand, to get the government contract, which you tell lie to all of your clients because you didn't have that service and you don't have that service. Let us bring up the first one. Let us get into and show our people because we are protecting our Jamaican people. And Jonas, let me tell you something. You have to go into the judiciary now. No matter very advanced, you have to go into the judiciary now. Now, Guardsman metaverse. Let us bring up that and show people the big can. The big can. Let us show the Jamaican people. Are they hearing it?
There is no sound. Just the home page, just what you had. You want the other one?
Yep.
You want the launch or you want this?
Yeah, give me, no, hold on. Just go on here. Private share. Yes, because we want the Jamaican people to understand what we are sharing here. Now let us show Jamaican people, you understand, the organization of the criminality with Andrew Ownless and Darrell Vaz. Let us show people this is JIS. Right? Mystic Sensation is not telling any lie on you. Partnership with private security industry, critical, you understand, as according to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, the most honorable Andrew Ownless. And Andrew Ownless, you know, say Kenneth Benjamin, right, did not have these resources. But you want to rob taxpayers' money, you and Darrell Vaz and Kenneth Benjamin. Now, Prime Minister, the most honorable Andrew Ownless says, as the government pursues initiative to improve citizen security and safety, partnership with the private security industry will be a critical part of the process. Because, yes, you want to give Kenneth Benjamin billions of dollars in contract. This is your wickedness. People see them there. People see the evidence there. See them there. See them there. And Darrell Vaz in a disto. See the Kenya, but I'm trying to sell to Jamaican people to take taxpayers' money, billions of dollars, and give to Kenneth Benjamin. And Kenneth Benjamin now, give them some money now under the table. You go here, Kenneth Benjamin, is talking to one of them, right? That have to be right. Because if they don't be right, they're not going to get any fund, not going to be funded. Kenneth Benjamin, you understand, politically funded the Jamaica Labour Party. And this is how he get big award of contract, billions of dollars with contract, selling lie, fraud. So now, Benjamin, you had committed an open fraud against the Jamaican people. You and Andrew Ownless. Let us get and read it. Right? See the photo there? We now read the photo, we are getting to the facts. He said the private security is an essential component of the national security framework, serving as sensors that can passively detect criminal activity and threats, and first responders, while providing vital support for state security. You saw them nice it up. You saw them pretty it up for thief taxpayers' money. The Prime Minister was addressing the Guardsman Group Security Forum at the Knutsford Court Hotel in New Kingston on May 11. I'm going to show you it, people. I'm going to show you the video. The Prime Minister, the most honorable Andrew Ownless, says, as the government pursues initiatives to improve citizen security and safety within conship, partnership with the private security industry will be a critical part of the process. Can you imagine? He said the private security sector is an essential component of the national security framework, serving as sensors that can possibly detect criminal activity and threats, and first responders while providing vital support for state security people. When I'm going to show you some clip, you understand? I'm telling you, Jamaica, it was luckily that incident happened to expose Kenneth Benjamin, that Kenneth Benjamin didn't have these resources, and the government wanted was to give Kenneth Benjamin billions of dollars in contract. This is wickedness. The Prime Minister was addressing the Guardsman Group Security Forum at the Knutsford Court Hotel in New Kingston. I have the clip, I have the evidence, I'm going to show it. He said the concept of public security is complex. Yeah, because you don't want to thief. When time you and Nigel Clark want to thief, it get complex. And it done into algorithm and hard sort of rhythm. And multidimensional, requiring cross-ministerial and cross-sectoral inclusion for long-term and meaningful solutions. In addition to partnership with the private sector and civil society people, when you go see when time gunshot take their ass, you see them run on the car, police back up, and yet them sell how them have start to detect. When you go see when time gunshot take your ass, when you wait until you start showing the clip them people. When you go to say you don't have none of that, trick the people when forget the contract. He said there will continue to be dialogue among various partners to develop a national counterterrorism policy and national contingency plan. The role of the responsibility of stakeholders will be known, right, agreed and understood, and therefore the input of all stakeholders is essential, he noted. That is how when time and Jonas, you understand, want to rob the treasury, man and thief in friend them. Let us go to the next clip, buddy. Let us go to the next clip and show the people them what really are going here, so. Right? Let us go in Jamaica, observe and show the Guardsman target. Right? Let us launch the metaverse. Let us launch the metaverse. Yes. Let us launch the metaverse. What Kenneth Benjamin claims him have. People not looking up.
Guardsman has always been and always will be the company that thinks outside of the box. We have always listened carefully to what our clients require, and we have found a way to deliver. For us to deliver more seamless, intelligent, and powerful security solutions to deal with crime in our island nation, as the leader of the largest security company in Jamaica, and along with our nation's security forces, can play a critical role in diminishing crime in Jamaica, sir.
We want to make sure that when you hire Guardsmen for any services, we must add value. The technology world is changing, and it's changing fast and furious. We intend to be, and listen to me carefully, we intend to be the largest security technology provider in the Caribbean.
How can we do this? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm thrilled to introduce you to Synergy. Synergy is our new bespoke product. It is our integrated solution that blends the use of smart technology and the use of well-trained manpower. May consist of AI cameras at the perimeter, license plate recognition at the entry, facial recognition at the staff entry, video verification for the client, an electronic or fire alarm, the ability to dispatch the very nearest asset to a problem, a drone to do aerial surveillance at night, the broadband network that you need to keep everything running smoothly, and on top of that, a security operations center who can see everything happening on the ground by having all of your cameras, all of your access control, all of your burglary, your fire, and your response team in one place.
I wish to add at this time my own congratulations to Ken Benjamin and his team for continuing to bring cutting-edge pioneering and security technology solution to the people of Jamaica and to the wider region.
Is truly mind-blowing. And what came to mind DPM and Minister of National Security, with all this infrastructure and all this investment in infrastructure, why would the government need to duplicate this?
I think what we're witnessing here, which
Still a
is
sunfire. Take him away.
mind-blowing, really, and incredibly
Just want to show the
impressive,
people the sunfire what
reflects the scale that you have
to
been
rob
able
taxpayers'
to
money. Take him away. Now, let us get into the truth of the matter and where Kenneth Benjamin was exposed. That is synergy technology with drones, AI cameras, right? License plate recognition, face recognition, security operations center that can see everything on the ground. Cutting edge technology. Jamaica, when gunshot attack, all of them just sitting there where I have. Gone out of the door when gunshot attack them. I'm showing you the evidence, people. Going on the next clip. All criminal them I know. Let me show the evidence. Eh? You have drones to fly over here and detect criminal. AI camera, license plate recognition, face recognition, security operation, and watch it now. See there?
No, no, not a man. No, not a brother, and get flat. You know, see, man, I'm a pump rifle, man, I'm a rifle, man, I'm a M16. I'll be a 2 gun, man, I'm a tractor down, right? Look, if I come like a shoot to go,
so come here, Kenneth Benjamin. Let me ask you before we play the next clip. Where is the security operations center that can see everything on the ground? Cutting edge technology. Where is the face recognition? Where is the license plate recognition? Where is the AI camera? And where is the drone surveillance? I'm going to play the next clip and show Jamaica the wicked Conway and Jones and Darrell Bars trying to con the people. And come on a client, both of have these services. Lie!
Live on the scene, you know. Man, them take on the guardsman, them just a little while out of my place, Albion St. Thomas. Just a little while, man, them make off of the brings. Low M16, low 9mm, low knocking just a little while again out of my side. Man, low and shell again.
JBN to keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, Beryllium security team attacked by a gunman in Albion, St. Thomas. Please remember to subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.
Me and the dog just did the attack about it, you know. Dog shoot up people in place, dog. Police, dog. Shut up, police.
Gunmen attacked a Beryllium Limited security unit at a gas station in Albion, St. Thomas on Saturday morning. Police sources confirmed the incident.
Kenneth Benjamin, let me ask you, Kenneth Benjamin, ask Andrew Ones, you understand, and ask Darrell Bars, right? Consistent robberies with beryllium, right? Kenneth Benjamin Company. So let me ask you again, Kenneth Benjamin, right? because you were selling that to the government to win contract, billions of dollars in contract. So let me ask you again, Kenneth Benjamin and Andrew Wallace and Darrell Vaz, I'm asking you, right? Where is the security operating center, right, that can see everything on the ground, right, with cutting edge technology when repeated robbery and Kenneth Benjamin Company? And you want to join Kenneth Benjamin Company to give Kenneth Benjamin what? Billions of dollars in contract to what? Protect Jamaica, and Kenneth Benjamin cannot protect himself. Huh? Eh? Now, where's the face recognition? How many times that Kenneth Benjamin Company been robbed? Right? Where is the license plate recognition? Where it is? Now, AI camera, where it is? Drones technology. Open Batsman, take it away.
Boy, me I tell you, this is a masquerade. The man them come parade at a press conference there, you know. I will see the players them. Dr. Crab did there, you know. Yeah, man. Minister of National Security, man. Dr. Crab, Horace Chang. Yeah. Criminal Vaz. Yeah. And the conman Prime Minister. And this lunatic from Guyana, what them call Kenny Benjamin. All of them want the fraud Jamaican, you know, business community. Because this is all that this government does. Trick, con, and lie to the Jamaican people. Now here is this guy telling you about all the sophisticated, you know, armory that them have at them disposal. Them can't say all gun in your pocket. Show all that, you know. He must show you so them can't steal from them base and see when a crime is about to take place. But in a for them circumstance, when it brings them never see nothing, you know. Gunshot lick them till them weak. I am sorry for the few workers who lost them life. You understand? Because a few of them workers lost them life, you know. Yeah? Especially over Portmore side there. You understand? But you know what the biggest thing in this when all is said and done? Here is nasty criminal killer Vaz. I say to we Jamaicans, say, the government don't need to duplicate nothing else.
Yes.
Work with Kenny Benjamin thing.
Yeah.
You understand? So he might have throw all the GSM under the bus, you know. Just to carry out them acts of criminality. You understand? Yeah. But this guy never have nothing to duplicate in the first place. This guy have a fraud system to come rob we in our country. This nasty piece of Guyanese. Here's some money I give you like, oh, full shit I drop off a Brackerman 4 roost down at Jamaica. Run, come catch some of the spoils. When they walk now, the youth them out there in our society, you know, here we are going and decide, so well then, if we have to find out if them money really have all of them sophisticated armory, make we go give them a test. You see when them go give them a test, at the Jamaica Defense Force and Constabulary Force, Kenny Benjamin a call for help too, you know. Remember at one point in time, you know, the citizens them scared when I brings drum side of them. Because it coming like it back in the days when me I go to school, you know. When Mr. Brown cough, you know, I come, you know. Yeah. When everybody have to come off of the road, because he say, boy, Mr. Brown cough now come, you know, with the drum crew, you know, 3-wheel cough with the drum crew, you know. Everybody took on themselves from Beryllium. Beryllium now have nothing to offer to our security. Because Kenny Benjamin know the landscape of our security, how for police that. You understand? So it was another PR trick and lie and robbery attempt. And the gunman them filed that attempt, you know. And show it up, say it now have nothing going for it. But Killer Vaz said it must not be duplicated. So you know, so Vaz was at the center of that mafia scheme. You understand? Andrew Holness, we don't know you sign off on that. To give this guy $1 billion worth of contract in Jamaica. But look how long we have serving security company. We can't name them out, you know. You have Protector, you have Protection, you have Tara, you have Guardsman, and the list goes on and on. We can't name them. But them not qualify again. This guy come from guy. Well, one thing me know guy and have, you know. A swampland down there. So you might get like a rice grow down at them place there. And just when the guy and I find something that work in favor of that country. Some oil. Yeah. We never hear a Guyana export high level security in the region. But all of a sudden, Andrew Wellness them come with it. Hey, Jamaican people, you know, now have to wake up and smell the coffee of this government, you know. This government will find all a cockroach for the fraud of the country. Them no leave no stone unturned when it comes to corruption and the fraud in the taxpayers and the Jamaican citizens at large. I said they will find all a cockroach and use it for the fraud of the country. This kleptocratic government where we have, led by a criminal named Andrew Wellness, must be defeated. By all costs, it must be dismantled. And by all means, it must be abolished from our political landscape. We cannot be, you know, in a situation where we allow these criminals to emerge. We must submerge them. We have to submerge them, bury them once and for all, because them set back the country over 50 years. I mean, we and the Titans, we've been echoing the sentiment. Without the Jamaica Labour Party, Jamaica would be on par with Singapore and many more developing countries in the world, an established country in the world. First world I'm talking. You understand? Jamaica have the same thing what Dubai have, you know. But what Dubai have that Jamaica lack is management and accountability personnel. They have leaders that are inclined to build something, not just for themselves, but for the people that they represent. While in Jamaica, we have leaders who are all for themselves and nobody else if you are not within the 5%. It's a 5% government we have, you know, with a 21% mandate. You want to look after 5% of the people in our country. You understand? And want to run the place like him is a dictator. Want to use some little garbage member of parliament around him going at the cabinet and rob the whole of the ministry them and ravish the landscape of Jamaica and mash up the taxpayers them. Because the taxpayers them, you know, and them have to take up the slack and bear the brunt. And these wide gap where the man them left in the budget. So we have to call for the taxpayers who are also the electorate who goes to the poll to vote. Make sure none of them look over where the bell there, you know. A straight head. Straight ahead we are dealing with. We have to move this kleptocratic government. And we have to find a place to put them. Where? Prison. Prison. And I mean, I've been crying out to the incoming government official very first day, make sure no say all traveling document freeze at the international airport them. And make sure no say line out some Coast Guard around the whole of Jamaica, you know, because them guy have some boat, you know, where them hotel friend have will take them out of the country, you know. Yeah, overhead surveillance. A serious thing. We cannot allow these criminals to leave the shores. So we have air surveillance, airport surveillance, and port surveillance. You understand? And make sure no, you give them an ultimatum to surrender them traveling documents. Until we finish concluding our forensic investigation before documents will be released. You can't have an administration with so much $1 trillion missing. And you go and take office and just fold your arm as if everything is Rosie, no. You have to plug the gap them. And the gap them is the airport and the port. Our waters, surrounding waters. Ask them to surrender them traveling documents to the nearest police station and then pursue with your forensic investigation. I mean, I tell yourself right now, well, I'm just start when we hear about the Bill prison down there. Can't look like him know where I'm coming up. So my upgrade film facility. No. You can't go in a new prison if it's even building Andrew. You have to go take some of the dosage and medicine where you get to the youth then. You and Dr. Crab for the last 10 years. You have to go in a dungeon too. Because all your work and activities where you carry out for the last 9.5 years are dungeon work, a garbage work, a criminal work you carry out in Jamaica. Yeah, you not do no work in an office, no. Every day you're on the road, I cut ribbon. Right now, I see you do master sermon, you're coming like Barry G and Miss Kitty everywhere you go. Yeah, walking KFC and all them places there. You understand? A Barry G and Miss Kitty, me know used to go on them thing there, you know. People get them to come up them place, you know. And that work that the nasty Prime Minister in Jamaica do, you know. Yeah, but yet still you have over 51 agency under your umbrella. A thief, you have the agency, them there use them a thief the taxpayers' money. Because you don't there in office. You're there about a ruffle donkey and all type of thing and few little one-bedroom houses with a whole heap of green and yellow and black balloon where you waste taxpayers' money. You understand? You don't need all of them fanfare there where we see you going with the amount of taxpayers' money where you waste, where you think would have give the leverage for the people that vote for you. Unbelievable, and nobody now vote for you still. Because everybody knows your party a criminal party. You orchestrated a criminal party. I remember enough of you was from the Gang of Five, you know. Even the same nasty one when named James Roberts, you know. Where they are St. Thomas now have the problem. Him was one of the head Gang of Five to overthrow Seaga. But we see him come now and overthrow Andrew Wallace. Labor rights will have to wake up and swear go on now the party. You know, see some have a bag of backstabbers in there. Up to pump bars and throw the Prime Minister under the bus. Labor right to now to wake up and a joke business. This is not politically instigated or political motivated speech, me again, so. Me a talk to you in a real terms. James Roberts is a backstabber in the party. Yet still we see some nasty youth over St. Thomas and do dirty work on his behalf. Them a work for him and Mitchell criminal Clark Charles over there. You understand? And we are look down and tell us them things on the right, you know. If you no so now labor right, you know. I want to leader are the ultimate for the party, you know. But here is nasty criminal James Roberts a trim under the bus attack all the whole of the man business publicly. Remember I want to know why the man in the wilderness have, you know. We hear everything. We hear we're up for the Prime Minister, we're up for him. It is unbelievable. So we are showing us the whole labor rights structure is in shambles. And this is why I call in for 63 and oh. And when we accomplish that feat, we must make sure now we apply the whip to all of them. And I yield back the floor to another member of the panel.
Blessings, 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 powerful impact. I think, hold on a minute, I want to bring Brother Rattigan in this space just now. Now, Brother Rattigan, as you see that as it relates to Kenneth Benjamin, right, and the Jamaica government, as it relates to Andrew Owen's kleptocratic government, right, talking about partnership with Kenneth Benjamin, as it relates to Kenneth Benjamin's so-called, right, synergy, technology, right, as it relates to drones, AI camera, right, license plate recognition, face recognition, and security operating center that can see everything on the ground, cutting edge technology. And when he has been challenged, he came up nil. We realized that what they were selling, a big con, to rob billions of dollars from taxpayers. What say you on it, Racketeering?
You're muted.
Yeah. I have a lot to say. A lot. Let me just find something here. Let me just tell you a little bit about this man, Kenny Benjamin. I know Kenny Benjamin. I know Kenny Benjamin very well. Kenny Benjamin is a charming person, smooth operator, and just for the record, he supports both parties. He hedges his bets. And in fact, Kenny Benjamin's sister is married to a senior politician in the PNP. Now, how do I know Kenny Benjamin? Kenny Benjamin's office shares a fence with the police commissioner's office, and the gate is always open. And I'm telling you this because I've been there. Kenny Benjamin has a regularly scheduled meeting every Friday in a huge boardroom. And when you go there, you're going to see people of all political stripes. You're going to see people of influence in Jamaica. Again, I've been there. That's how I met all of these folks. Now, you hear talk about the Security Operations Center. Where did Kenny Benjamin and his crew get that from? They got that from me. I am the one who went there and tried to help Jamaica by bringing the intelligence center, the fusion center concept to them. Why? Because I was doing it for the benefit of Jamaica. I used to run the biggest fusion center that the FBI has. It's in New York. It's called the JTTF. I used to run it. I used to run it in Mississippi. I used to run it overseas. And so what happened is that we're sitting down, we're talking, how can we help Jamaica? And that's where they got this from. This was back in 2018, 2019. Just a while back. And like I said, he's a charming person, but there are some things that I didn't particularly like about how that whole thing was run. The first thing that shocked me was the people I saw in that boardroom. First thing that shocked me. I saw people that I didn't expect to see there. Jamaica, I'm not telling you this, this is not hearsay. I was there every Friday when we were at Jamaica. Now, this LPR, them talk about license plate readers, and I'm the one who told them about analysts and sources and drones and all. I bring the whole idea to them. And what happened, which is similar to what they do to most diaspora members. You go to Jamaica with an idea and say, okay, I'm here to help Jamaica. They say, all right, tell us about your idea. And then you leave and they take the idea and they sell it to somebody else. Them friend get the idea and then run with it. And that's exactly what happened. By the way, Kenny Benjamin has a long-term lease for Puerto Rico. And there are days that Jamaicans cannot go to that beach because there are days that are reserved only for visitors coming off of the cruise ships. So you cannot go there. And the last thing I want to mention is this, and this is going to come as a shock. We've been talking about the money spent on national security, the money spent on the health sector. And we've also been talking about Kenny Benjamin's foray into the security arena with the government, because at one point he was even offering his services to the government, saying that they should partner with private security. But let me take you somewhere. Let me take you to a more recent point. And this came out July 11th. And when I saw it, I was shocked. You see, the same company, we have a problem with the drill, Seaga, Southeast Health Regional Authority. They issued a contract. This July. They issued a contract in the amount of $3.2 billion with a B to 3 security companies to provide security for their facilities. Remember now we don't have beds, we don't have this, we don't have that, we don't have nothing. We don't even have nothing for them to secure, but them might get security. And who get the contract? Marksman, Guardsman, and a company called Shock. 2 of those companies run by Kenny Benjamin. 2 of those companies. And this just happened. This happened July. We're not finished July today, July 29th. This just happened. That's why I said the Jamaican public are asleep. They must sleep. This just happened. And where is the outcry? Where is the accountability? Nothing under the cover. It just come out one day and then you hear not more about it. People, if you don't believe me, go read. When I saw it, when the date came out, I saw it. I said, I was going to do a story on it, I was going to do a story, and a good friend of mine a while ago text me and say, I talk to the person about it, and them say, you're not going to do the story. I said, no, I'll talk about it for Mystic program. See the thing, them say, Marksman will provide services to the Spanish Town and the Linstead Public Hospitals and the St. Catherine Health Department under a contract valued at 1.5 billion and a 3-year contract.
Wow.
Guardsman, the next one, has been contracted to serve the Princess Margaret Hospital and St. Thomas Health Department at a cost of 600 million. No account. Nobody know you're nothing about this. But it's taxpayers' money. This is not Daryl Vaz's money, or Tufton's money, or Andrew Honus's money. This is taxpayers' money. And just like the boss, them spend all of that money to take children to schools that don't have the equipment, don't have the teachers. So what them going to learn? Just like this, them spend billions for protect facilities when they have no medicine, no doctor, no nurse, it have no supplies, it have nothing. People, I wonder, we think ass backwards. That's how we are think. And you know why? Because there's the significant element to all of this: greed. Greed. You can call it chopping, you can call it whatever you want. It's greed. How much money them people need? How much more money them need? Them no suck the blood already out of the life of the Jamaican people, and them still can't stop. Still can't stop. I yield.
Wonderful input, Rati. You just spoke that, and it just hurt me. It just shook my heart to know that even although we call them out, they try to refashion it, right, to give Benjamin, right, the big loot to rob taxpayers. And of course, they will get their kickback. Things are just current happening to the Jamaican people. And, let me tell you something. Any person out of his or her mind, right, having to see all of these revelations and still saying they want to vote for Jamaica Labour Party, let me tell you something. We will understand why we had spent over 400 years in slavery. Right? Because some of those who call themselves and see themselves as out slaves, the plantation slaves, don't get a chance. Sister Pinks, squeeze through, because of course Pastor Ricky will be closing us out.
Yes, Uncle Byron, as you mentioned the slave trade and slavery, I must pivot on that point and say they want to turn Jamaica in a plantation.
Yes.
Divide and conquer, hold slaves against the plantation slaves, and they want to turn us back into slaves, working for them every day. But Val said that there's no duplication in what Guardsman was partnership with the government with. Vaz apparently is yet to understand that most of the guards, the security guards that work with guardsmen, are actually ex-police officers and ex-soldiers, people who have left the service or government security service and joined the Guardsman Limited company. Now, the other point I would like to ask is, Mr. Benjamin, when did we stop using armored vehicles to transport money? And we're using these paper vehicles that gunshots can go through. Offer no protection to the guards inside them, and no security for the money is being transferred in these trucks. I have noticed for years, if you had a mega cyber security program, how comes you don't have any armored vehicles transporting our money? Does that make any sense to you? And you consider yourself a business person? The armored vehicles not only secure the money that is in transportation, but also the security guard, which means you have no respect or any regard for the guards or the security officers who are using those paper vehicles to transport our money, our people's money. It never make any sense to me. And when we had these spate of robberies happening, if you also notice, Jamaica, that most of the robberies were done at national commercial banks, did anyone else notice it is only Michael Lee Chin's bank that was being robbed?
True.
Who is another friend in the syndicate? So when I see this Bermuda Triangle happening, Benjamin, Lee Chin's bank, and the Minister of Security sitting back and watching these robberies happening. And at the end of the day, when they finally caught up with the gang that was behind it, one member was a police officer. And they were working with an inside person from Guardsman Limited. Jamaica, connect the dots. Drivers, we have common sense too. We have common sense too. And I would like to ask Cadet Benjamin one question. Where was all this technology that you had this PR stunt about? Where was it when Andrew Owner's house was under bomb threat? Hello? Where was this technology when Garden House, that attempt was made to burn on Garden House? Come, Mr. Benjamin, come talk to us about this technology that you claim to have. And the fact that this gang could prove that you did not have the technology, you need to tell us what is happening. Because I heard that through the grapevine that you're trying to claim and own a beach in Montego Bay after Puerto Rico. I understand you're in the background trying to get a beach in Montego Bay. Apparently this government promised you another beach. And what are you securing at these hospitals? The cardboard beds, the wheelchairs, the chairs, the overworked nurses, the theaters without air condition. The theaters without equipment, the theaters. And when you look at the fact that St. Anne's Bay Hospital has to be shipping its dirty laundry to Montego Bay, Cornwall Regional Hospital to be done, what are you securing? Broken down machines, washing machines? And when we look at the food and the patients are being served at this hospital, and you have a 3-year, 1.5 billion contract as a foreigner, you see, JLP keeps talking about Andrew own Mark Golding being dual citizenship, having a dual citizenship, being a dual citizen. They keep emphasizing that point. And yet they keep giving contracts to non-Jamaicans, the Chinese, the Guyanese, selling our property, giving our properties to Mexicans all over the place. Rooms, scandal. What a deal. Jamaicans live here, can't get a piece of free land to live on. And you don't take your bulldozer and go in there. Yet, a man can come from Mexico, buy a property for less than its value, and get extra land with it. And us Jamaicans living here can't even put up a 1-bedroom on government land. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? A Jamaican born here that's allowed to squat on any land here. But a man from Mexico can come buy a piece of property and ask for extra land with beach. With beach. And we Jamaicans are not allowed to go on any beach as we choose to. I am happy that within the next couple of weeks, there will be a change of government and Commonwealth leader intends to revoke and reverse a lot of things that has been done under this government. So all the people like you, Mr. Kenneth Benjamin, enjoy time right now. It's soon over. We have a lot of work to do when the government change. We have a lot of work to do. A lot of things need to be reversed. A lot of things need to be changed. A lot of things need to be upgraded. Mr. Benjamin, leave Montego Bay alone. We don't want you here. Have a nice day. And I yield the floor.
Ricky, okay, all right. Pastor Ricky, we have you closing the show for us, but let me just squeeze in Sister Pat in the space.
No problem.
Right, so Sister Pat can vibe. All right, Sister Pat, you're on Mystic Sensation Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, good night to the panel, Sister Melton, Pastor Ricky, big up.
All right.
However, me there I watch from listening now. My question and understanding. Me hear Darrell Valls use a word. Come in, it's a legal man, it's a Racketeering, it's a bad. He will not, he will at any cost, we make Andrew Wallace win by the election. And we find that troublesome, honestly to God. You know why? I see a video where Mr. Lawrence, where around St. Thomas against James Robertson, where it's a legend man, one man go in the man yard and he then catch up on him and run. Then Cody go, then punch and carry road. Me see again some viral video, playing, where some young man has take off, playing people, parent field of them, they flag on them, this and then that. And the Darrell Vaz come out and use that word. Desmond Mackenzie used a similar word. I personally, as a child, lived in a 1980 election, and with the desperation of these people, I don't trust them. So with you, with Uno, we have more exposure, more meat. I ask the question, there's anything we can get some Caribbean neighbors or some international people come to Jamaica, because this thing is not looking good. It's them now good on without a fight. And when we say fight them, I fight them oneself. And the next thing again, here we can't say loan some here pant, I loan some now. My papa again with James Robertson attacks on things. Mistaken again, if you play, make you play here. Out of James Robertson mouth, who I go tampering and who I go Fort Augustus, and who send me man go foreign and the American government this and the American. Play you know get the mistake.
Yes, I have it. I have it. Sister.
Play before you work, man. You have to keep the people and panel to a man. And dissect it to man, make them hear. Because we have enough people are watching. Me out at the panic ground and walk, They have make people listen. And then love listening. And Mr. Racketeering, let me tell you something, friend. Tonight, my son get the report. And believe you me, sir, I want to tell you, 1 million thanks. My son get civics 100 plus he get it with credit. I do you call it? Because he passed in civics thanks to you.
Wonderful.
And since he started listening, he understand it and he passed 100 with an A. He said, I feel so good with credit. So with that now, I work with time, because time I go. They beg you play that credit. And 5 minutes, we put something on it. It is very outrageous that before your Pastor Ricky say, when God is in the vessel, you smile at any storm, then take time and get
Amen.
turn from the one and that. Uno notice it, uno see chang. You know how we are going, we chang there. One if you go to China or Korea, we don't see chang none at all in the campaign. But my problem is what they are doing, and they do not care. And Mr. Commissioner of Police, sir, may I go to basic school. But if you love Jamaica, and you love the people of Jamaica, and your family who you don't know, may I ask you a favor, sir. All of the policeman and woman in St. Thomas, could you move them from St. Thomas with immediate effect? Don't even notice them. Just take them from St. Thomas and send a news that a police up in time with a good on to the wire. Please. I believe that would help. Everyone from superintendent, acting super, whatever, ACP or whatever, B, whatever, at the rank. You whole entire parts of St. Thomas and Portland. Move out them police there. Every one of them. Because it's alleged that they are tainted. So, Mr. Commissioner, show your strength. Show we say you have spied. Show we say you have backboard. Move them out. As election call Sunday, move them out Monday and put a different set of police. And I yield back to the panel.
All right, Sister P. We are going to
Laurent, before you go, one quick note. I've seen in the chat where analyst professionals say Mark was at that ceremony. I wasn't at the ceremony, so I don't know if Mark Golding was at the ceremony. And it says, and Racketeering noted that he's friends with both sides. If analysts, if you're talking about Mark Golding, For all of the times I've been to the Friday meeting, the Friday get together at Kenny Benjamin's place, not once did I see Mark Golding there. Never saw him there. So I just want to clear that up. I saw lots of people there, but I never saw Mark Golding there. And I was there for several weeks. Every time I go to Jamaica, I'd end up over there. And I never saw him there.
All right. So but let me clarify that too. Mark Golding was at the launch. Doesn't mean that Mark Golding has no form of association with the situation. He was invited. Right. Remember, it's a democratic country. There are several occasions where Andrew Holness, right, will be having situations, right, and Mark Golding invited. That has nothing to say that Mark Golding is in agreement with, right? We need to get right.
And can I say something?
Yes.
Sister Pat was asking about Oristang. Oristang, please remember that Oristang cannot pass the airport security. So he's the only minister and the first minister of security that cannot go through our airport security. So he's here in the island. He's not very well, and he's getting treatment here. He is forced to get treatment here with our health sector here because he cannot travel overseas to get treatment like his friend Horace Clark.
All right. Okay. So we don't want to keep Pastor Ricky too cold, and then after Pastor Ricky, then we play Sister Pat request. Pastor Ricky, go ahead for us and blaze the place, my boss.
Well,
all right.
Tonight, thanks to Sir Byron, Lady Anne, Sir Rattigan, and Melting Pot, Lady Pinks, myself in the space, we expose the Prime Minister, Boz, who soon gone to prison. We expose Tufton, who soon gone to prison, and Chang to some degree. The four epitome of corruption in Jamaica, the four of them, they're the center of corruption, and every corrupted act in Jamaica, they all collude, collaborate together. Now, we all want to see Jamaica delivered from crime and violence. And big up Sir Rattigan, because him get some documents a few months ago. We talked about it. That it has like 8 different categories of crimes, but the government only focus on one category, which is murder. And the other 7 category, they don't include it in the crime rate. So we know it's a bogus number. What am I use a campaign on that says crime is down? So the fact that they're inviting or they're collaborating with Kenny Benjamin, we need to see the procurement, I'm getting tongue tied. The process of the procurement process.
Procurement, yes.
Procurement. How did they bid? How did he win the bid for becoming the apparatus for providing digital enhanced security in Jamaica? Was he the sole source? Was it a bidding source? Because we have King Alarm, we have Alki, and other security agencies operating in the Jamaica space. But the truth of the matter is that we know that this government is a kickback government. And we can see with the drill, kickback go on with the drill. We all know that. The school bus with El Hydro, kickback go on with that. We know that. We can see the Prime Minister when he was education minister back in 2007, where government contracts were given to Robert Garvin and kickback money run as a result when him should have got a prison fee, but the corrupt former DCP let him off, and we know the story. So I am not surprised with this move with Kenny Benjamin, with the Prime Minister, to propose of bringing in technology to enhance security. But I am wondering, as I was watching the clip, and Lady Pinks touched on it, because in America, we don't have armored vehicle as a soft vehicle. It's armored, protected from bombs and bullets and so forth. But with all of the beryllium robberies, where is the drone technology? Where is the AI cameras? I can recall even when the little baby girl, 9-year-old girl, get her throat slashed at our school. Chang come out and said Jamaica I now work. There are many instances where they declare that Jamaica I is not working, so they don't have any factual evidence. We're dealing with a government that is not transparent. So much criminality in the government and corruption that them hide everything them I do. And so right now, break-ins are up by 200%. Robberies are up by 100%, but they don't include that when they talk about crime is down by 40, murder is down by 42%. Murder is not the only crime. Rape is a crime. Missing people category, which is a huge category that they left out of the crime rate figures. Listen, the United States government, big up the State Department, issued travel advisory 2 years in a row, along with Canada and the UK government. First world countries. And the two problems that they found in Jamaica that is worth note of why they issued the travel advisory is crime and the poor health system. Crime, they said, is out of control, and Jamaica ranks number 2 behind 80 in the Western Hemisphere. So with all of this apparatus of technology and equipment and AI and drone technology, why when we add up the murder rate, even though we know the numbers them not right, because one pathologist, government pathologist, them have do all of the autopsy to determine the cause of death. So we know say a lot of numbers, as Sir Rattigan eloquently point out, that them still have only for dead people from 2016 when I include. But the truth of the matter is, when we add up those bogus numbers, because they underreported, they're deflated numbers, still over that 9.5 years period or 9-year period, the Prime Minister is the murder Prime Minister, 12,481 murders. So where is the technology that the taxpayers' money has been spent on with Kenny Benjamin to prevent this thing from 2016 that got out of control under this government? Where is the technology to make people sleep with them door and them window open at night and feel safe? Right now, if you call anybody at Jamaica, we talk to people at Jamaica every day, them don't feel safe. So with all what Kenny Benjamin and them are propose and them are run out and I say, yes, we're going to take care of this and have this in place. One last point. The Prime Minister say that he might way for truck bloggers and people who criticize him. Well, we not stop criticizing and you can't track we. We all right. Well, we there. But nevertheless, where is the technology to make Jamaica feel safe? The people that at Jamaica feel safe. They don't feel safe. Guarantee if you call somebody at Jamaica right now after the show and say you feel safe and take a poll, majority of Jamaicans don't feel safe. And they're living in fear. So this is a kickback government to conclude. They're getting kickbacks from all of these contracts that they sign. They never show you the procurement process, the award-winning contract, who win the contract. Everything is secret, secret, secret. Unless you like Sir Rattigan, who the Holy Ghost wake up 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning and 5, 8, then you will never get the evidence. Big up yourself, Sir Rattigan. You know what I mean? So there's no transparency and no accountability. So we're seeing taxpayers' money has been pocketed. They must fill them craw. And the kickbacks we them get from all of these contracts, that's illegal. And so, Comrade Leader Mark Golan, we're praying for your strength because we know finally when you get in, you have a lot of cleaning up to do, mopping up.
Oh, yes.
A lot of mopping up to do, man, to bring back Jamaica. Them set back Jamaica by 50 years with them corruption.
Perfect.
How much $1.2 billion to corruption costs over this 9-10 year period of this government? It's sad. Back over to you, Sir Byron. Thank you.
All right, well said, Pastor Ricky. But let us just hold a bit and get into Sister Pat requests, and we just give a little comment on that, right? Can just give a quick 2-minute comment to close out the night. So let us hear, as it relates to the internal fighting that is happening with the Jamaica Labour Party. So listen now, people. So we don't grow on corner. I tell the people them say James Roberts not talk about things and
you heard what I said?
Yes, we hear James.
I said they are just two crazy individuals that live very self-centered, separate lives. Andrew Holness and Juliet Holness. So when he comes home, she not winding them up that
now, let me tell you something. The other day, of course, we see the integrity boss. And you know, the integrity boss love the wife, right? You know, celebrating their birthday. But them now want to show people, say, no, them good. Them now run out and celebrate birthday too. But when we look on the birthday, what I celebrate, I see how Steve right. Who will Mrs. Holness? Right.
Size 13.
Do we all Mrs. Steve right? Who will Mrs. Holness right? And I lie. Boy, if me see anybody hold my wife the way there, my heart a shift from the left over the right. Me not say nothing more upon that. My left right there, so. Right? So, I can play the next clip.
That would never happen, according to Kamina Johnson Smith. Don't worry, Sir Byron. That will never happen.
No. We are leave it there, so.
Yeah,
Right.
leave it.
No more comment.
Amen. You're in good hands with Lady Anne Marie. That will never happen. Nobody now go hold.
Remember, Andrew life is a careless life. Andrew I live in, so anything can happen to Andrew. Mystic no live careless life.
Amen. That would never
Mystic
happen.
live matrimonial life.
And remember, it's a lavender marriage.
Well, it's a sensation.
Okay.
But we hear the Prime Minister baby mother say, boy, go up on a radio station and defend herself. And I say, boy, after him coming to Parliament and say, the best baby father, she run up on a radio station and say, I lie people at this. It's messed up. The Prime Minister is morally bankrupt, man. Him shouldn't even up on the ballot, to be honest.
Hold on, guys.
I remember she was sick too, you know. She claimed that she was sick, and she had to call the health minister to get a bed and help her with her treatment.
And she have a pouch in her stomach and know it. What can go so?
They want more that play, more the tape I play mistake.
She's trying to find a tape.
Okay.
You know, it's there. I was playing it in the background. I thought you guys were hearing.
How much? you think she has done that are falsified for some young boys to go abroad that the Americans now know? You see, it's different when you're in big international play, you know, and it's different when you're in rubbish. You understand me? You understand me? She, she's Tamarind 3 first and Fort Augustus second.
Prison term loading.
And she have a pass through Bath for a short term stay. The woman section of Bath.
That's what I was trying to avoid.
So I promise you, with what they're working on her, Bath first for a short term visit. And then they just go Fort Augustus after that. I don't think they have a new section in Tamarind 3 for women, but I don't think I think she'll just go straight past. What is her business model? That business model is an illegal business model, and has come to bump now. You understand what I just told you? What she purports to be her trade. You understand? If she was selling something else to good men and real men, she would that nothing illegal in that. The two of them dead. And she was the option for the second run. It would not have been you. You're not so stupid at 50. To go sit on a backbench. To go sit on a backbench. To go sit on a backbench. You're crazy. $770,000 by the time.
Wow. Until you say the level of corruption.
You know, let me just say that.
Look who is talking.
No, you know what?
One on the ratty, we could just play the last one and then we just 1 or 2 minutes think on it. Yeah, go ahead now.
The trap first set all deep into every town for him to go chuck it and lose votes and implode. We knew it. I marked the day he was going to implode. I told people he is going to implode.
All right, so that's it. All right. Yes, Ratty, you're 2 minutes on it.
No, the thing is, I know James, you know. I know James. That is James's voice. Right?
Exactly.
It's not AI.
No.
And the thing is, there are some things I won't even say on the program here. I'll tell you one away, Mystic. But
all right.
But the thing is this, right? That first of all, I'm shocked because James is not the kind of guy who would just say things like that to anyone, especially on a phone. James doesn't talk on the phone. James, very, very secretive guy. I'm telling you, just trust me on this when I tell you, very secretive guy. But here's the thing. I got another call today from an insider, somebody who can pick up the phone and call Andrew Holness and go over to his house. And the man said to me today, ask him about this. And him said, we're not worried about that because that's just a talk. So what were you worried about? Him say, what I'm worried about, what we're all worried about, is what Daryl Vaz has done and Daryl Vaz is doing. Him said, Daryl Vaz just give the opposition the victory. And this man, he called me twice today. He was, and this is a man who 6 months ago, me and him have a big argument because him is not even a diehard, him is a devout JLP. And him say it again to me tonight. And him say, wait, Rattigan, when me I tell him, say, you know me as a diehard labor right. And when me I tell you, say, what them I do wrong. When me I tell you, say, what them I do wrong, him say, it wrong. Because me just now go say them I do something wrong, just like that. Him say, what Daryl Vaz has done, has wrecked the party completely. Him say, there's internal dissension right now, because him say, they have done their internal assessment. Yes. And this is what he told me. He said that they, the JLP, some of them, They said that Daryl Vaz has enriched himself to the tune of 700 million Jamaican dollars. That's what he told me today, right? And he said, this is just flat out greed, and look at the timing when the man come do it, you know. And also one of the things he said, which was quite interesting, he said, you remember him just depend this thing, say we have to get the buses in by the end of July. And now we know why. Because they might use it for campaign. And this man was so upset about the fact that come say, want the PNP picnic, them can't ride the bus too. And this is a man, you know, when I tell you, said this is a man who is a financier, he's a friend, he's a confidant, he's everything to the height, to the upper levels of the JLP party. And this man, him called me twice today, and he was so upset. And him tell me, him say, I want them to lose. I want them to lose. Him say, me not voting. Him say, I am not. Him say, me not going up and down with them. I'm not making no contribution. I'm not voting. Well, he might tell me that. Me not really believe him still. Me think he might go vote, you know. But this is a man who me and him have some really serious conversations, you know. And he might defend the party. I mean, I defend facts. Me I say, look, me not defend the party, but me I give you the facts. And for him call me Saturday. Him call me Saturday. Him call me Saturday, and call me Sunday, and him call me 2 times today. I mean, no me I go hear from him tomorrow because the Daryl Vaz thing, and when him said the buses are go around the place with the supporters on it, that just make him blood just boil because him said that is so wrong. That
so wrong.
You are use the buses them now. Him said, him said to me, him said by the time September come at the rate them are go use them buses, yeah, the buses them are go broke down. Him said, watch and see. And so, you know, so while James are doing all of this, the party, as far as I'm concerned, based on what I'm hearing, the party fractured. It fractured. Him said to me, this election is Mark Golding's to lose. Because him said, right now, him a winner. And I said to him, so hold on, me now you're right. Are you telling me this? Because the other day, you never cussed me out and things like that. And him said, but me I tell you the truth. It's Mark Golding's to lose because right now we are fractured. And in this man I tell me in no uncertain terms, him said they do not like the prime minister. Him said there's a strong opposition in the party who would like to see him go. In fact, him said anybody but him. Him said they would rather take Tufton over him. Him said they want him to go. That's how bad it is. So throw that out. But Mystic, one way to hear some things.
All right. Who else want to take the next 2 minutes by?
Let me take it from here.
All right.
Uncle Byron. You know what Radigan just said confirms some information I have known all along. Because from 5 years ago, I was saying in the public on social media that the party was fractured. Other people didn't understand what I was talking about. But I know that a couple years ago, they had a meeting up by Stony Hill. 21 of them had a meeting. 21 out of the 49 had a meeting. And they did choose Tufton as their next leader. And I have heard also at several of their meetings, Monday night meetings at their Belmont address, guns have been pulled. At one meeting that they had there, Andrew Olness called him for an emergency meeting there. Himself, he called the meeting, and some members did not show up. And when calls were made to ask those members why they were not at the meeting, they said they were not planning to come, and there was some argument back and forth. And when those members finally turned up, they turned up with a large security force securing themselves as well as bulletproof vests. So if labor rights are meeting labor rights and you have to wear a bulletproof vest, it means you do not trust the other person that you're having the meeting with. So from my information, they have been pulling apart from quite a long time. And I'm happy that Robinson now coming out and talking about where Juliet is going to go, Tambrin Farm or Fort Augustus, you know. Well, she have our bed over there. We just need to make sure it's you know it's handled and everything ready waiting for her. And he's going to a GP. Yeah, so and we know that the marriage was always a fakeness to it because even Valentine's this year, she organized her own Valentine's Day present to be delivered to their house in Beverly Hills. And it was a cheap gift. And I'm like, which man ever really buy that, get them wife if you have millions of money? And it was like, are they really that was cheap? When me see our Margolin buy his wife a big bouquet of flowers, big bouquet. You understand me? And they are trying so hard to compete with Mark in the public. Listen, Juliet, when the royal couple, Prince William and his wife, came here to Jamaica, that royal visit, I remember distinctly to this day when you came out of the car with your husband, your bra strap was showing. Which husband at a public event like that will have their wife coming out of a vehicle if they truly love them and not look at her before she come out the vehicle? I am sure, Uncle Byron, right now, if you and Lady Anne Marie is going at a big event, they double check each other before you exit the vehicle and face the cameras. That's what loving couples would do. And don't forget the big diss that she got, you know, when she kissed him in public and he wiped it off and talk about his lipstick. Which proud husband would not lovingly wear their wife's lipstick proudly? And I cannot forget February 20, 2016, Montego Bay, Sam Sharp Square, when two gangs were at war at each other at their meeting. Gunshots were fired. And Andrew and his security team ran off the stage and left Juliet Owens on the stage. No, that is not love, you know. That is not love. Your husband hear gunshots and won't leave you along with his bodyguards, leave you unsecured. Juliet, we know you're just parading around because you have the wife and you have the marriage certificate, but the man in his heart does not love you. And those are the signals that we can see from the public. You understand me? So it makes no sense. You're not fooling anybody. Not fooling anybody. And we see how your body language with each other in public together. We have seen it over and over again. When I see Mark Golden and his beautiful African queen from August Town at a public event, playing with each other, touching each other lovingly in public and laughing and joking with each other. When we see the wholeness couple on our phone, our shoulders are slumped forward, ignoring our husband completely in public, you know. And I'm like, how can you love a man and you sit there ignoring the man on your phone, engrossed in your phone? It doesn't look good. That's not how loving is, how couples that love each other behave there. So the pretend thing and the acting thing doesn't matter. And we see this fake thing one time where they have like he's hiding behind some door and birthday cake, and I'm like, it's so fake.
So
We
fake.
can see it. It's fake. I yield the floor to another panel member.
All right. Next person jump in right then and there.
Man, well, you know, so Juliet would have to represent Andrew right now, you know, because Andrew brings shame upon Juliet. You understand? But maybe just move and go back to this guy at James Robertson. Yeah, cause I mash up Kim Thompson, you know. Yeah, him a mash her up bad. Cause I say, well, boy, she go on some illegal thing with some young man. And, you know, the spotlight upon her. But
Yes.
hear him now. Him say if she was selling something else to good man and real man, then it would be something different. Now, James Roberts, boy, you tell Jamaican what kind of things she could have sell now to good man and real man. Her body. Cause you alone run cocaine, you know, and vase, you know. She don't glad do some travel documents to some youth. Yeah, but you know, you take offense to that. So we know a leopard can't change them spot. And we know say the Jamaica Labour Party no longer fractured, you know, it mutinated by such people like James Roberts, Tough Tongue, Andrew Holness, and Vaz, Pum Vaz, and the whole of them. Yeah. Lollipop Jar, Bushrat. They mutinate the party. So we know the party dead. I just bury it in the upcoming general election. Yeah, because the scandal where follow this party for the past 5 years, you know, are some serious scandal, you know, we're not talking about allegation, you know. Factual scandal, them, yeah. Them was some scandal bag. You understand? Them are no mother of all scandal, you know. Them are great grandmother of all scandal. So we know the party mash up and dead. So it's just a brave face when you see the whole of them come out and make some speech. Them know, cause, well, be glad we have the lioness from the west, you know. Pink Skew round we know for come give us some underground intel. But I never know party affiliated member wear bulletproof vest and security with them go Belmont Park, Party Road Squad. But this bad man, labor right. You don't know them things where go on. Them you don't look good or sound good.
Yeah.
Right now, my name not talk about Nancy Bustamante. Right now, Blind Aga turning I'm grave, you know. Yeah, because there's so much Dan now rise up in the party that Blind Aga would have to back some amount of because you don't know I'm the one Dan, you know. But right now, it look like the party have about 25 Dan. More than half the 49. So something wrong with this party. This party is a gangster party. It's a criminal gangsterism party that pride itself on crime, violence, and all these things. Because if them even want to create violence amongst them one, then what to tell you? Now we see James Roberts are going with the same thing over in St. Thomas. We have youth out pan the road in a cut off foot pants with gun and knock down PMP posters and paraphernalia. You understand? And we know them thing they wrong. We see with all that big old nasty silverback one day. You understand? Where him, me say him go trim off him here. Cause alone some tell him say I shoot him out, you know. The day before him plat up, where them trim now me here. But we are send the police them to go for him. Silverback, them know him. Yeah? Them know Silverback, man. Smith, him father drive Hearse over there. Yeah? So, we tell Charles, James Roberts, people in a St. Thomas, vote them out. Them, they are two garbage member of parliament who have over there. One a defend for our father, land them when thief over 200,000, over 2,000 acre land when thief. She a defend that, Michelle Charles. I say James Roberts, you know him a defend. Him a defend cocaine, glut the farmers them with importation, and him a defend violence in the place. You don't have to move that piece of shit out of the place. Cause you hear him talk about, I set him and set up the woman, you know, just like how him set up Hubert Williams, you know, the People's National Party representative, you know. You know, him a talk so well, then them have it line out and him can't talk all the dates when Hubert did go, you know, commit himself to them plan. You understand? Because they want him out of the space.
Yes.
Because him, James Roberts, cannot manage Hubert over there, no, because Hubert born over the place. Him is a no good. expatriate coming at the place, or come rob the place. You understand? So him now I tell you everything where they go and come and work with some nasty police over there. And them think that no good for politics. Ain't no good for the society. Because when you have a man can manipulate how the voters vote, whether him win or him lose, him will always be a winner. Because I manipulate the space. That's not good for representative politics. So we have to move now to Jim Roberts. He's a druggist, by the way, you know. I mean, like when Pink Skew tell us you can't get cocaine your money to spend. You can't get cocaine not even a $5,000 Jamaica bill, but less this vast amount of millions and billions with them boy are angle. Yeah, them boy are criminal. And we have to move them. Yeah. Because I talk about even this young lady you know. She going to end up at Port Augustus, Tambrin Farm, and Bath. Why know all these things?
Yeah.
Because them are line her up with the criminal police them over there.
All right.
St. Thomas people, wake up! And I yield back the floor.
All right. Pastor Ricky, slide in, right in and there.
Yeah, thank you, Sir Byron, again.
Blessings.
I'm gonna put on my pastoral hat and to say that, as the Bible says, what's in the dark will come to light, and there is no doubt about that. And when you are in the right, you're not wrong. God will always vindicate you. And so, you know, we see how Hubert now is being vindicated because the evil forces that came against him it boomerang back on them, back to the sender.
Yes, and being exposed.
Hubert now can hold his head up high to know that they were trying to frame him. And furthermore, when Robertson's criticizing his boss, the prime minister, and his wife, it just goes back to 2 Chronicles chapter 20, where King Jehoshaphat was surrounded by 3 different nations that came to ambush him and overthrow him. But God, he called a fast, he called prayer, and this is why prayer and fasting is so important. And not only that, but he got all the worshipers and got their trumpets to blow. And then when they begin to praise and worship after the fast, after the prayer, those 3 different nations that came to overthrow him, God allowed them to get confused, and they turn on their own self and unalive each other. And King Jehoshaphat and the children of Israel remained standing. So I just want to say to the People's National Party, prayer and fasting work. And when we are right, then God will vindicate us and we will have the victory. The Jamaica Labour Party is on heading for a landslide defeat. And it's going to be so huge that they won't have any room to try to ask for recounts or magisterial recounts. The margin of victory in each constituency is going to be so wide and broad and big that the people are going to turn out. When the People's National Party is united, it's a force to be reckoned with. Oh, yes. Jamaica, a PMP country. And as we close, I just want to say, go pick up on a voting card, ID card. There's a couple thousands of cards still waiting to be picked up. Pick it up, because when you have the ID card, it makes the voting process easier on election day when you go to your local PD. And then finally, when you go inside, put the X beside the head. This is everybody in the People's National Party is emphasizing this. This is so critical. And if you don't understand the ballot, talk to your indoor worker. Your indoor worker will be in the color of the orange color. Before you put the X the wrong place and then them reject it and say it's not valid, talk to you. If you don't understand, talk to your indoor worker, and then, hopefully the guidance you receive will help you to put the X beside the head. They have to be voted out. We don't need the Jamaica Labour Party back in government. Them average 2 to 3 scandal per week. Enough is enough. We can't take no more. I mean, we want to see change because we care for Jamaica. Me personally, would I want to go Jamaica, go retire one of these days and enjoy the rest of my life on the beach, have a nice beach house, but not under this corrupt government. And so millions of people in the diaspora feel the same way how I feel. And so change is underway, change is on the horizon, and God is in the midst of it all. And God is going to propel current leader Mark Golden and the People's National Party to a landslide victory on election day. God bless you. Back over to you, Sir Byron.
Wonderfully stated. And I want to say a big thank you to such an impactful panel tonight. We have gotten some heavy punches from Pinkskew, right? Big thanks. We have some heavy punches from Pastor Ricky. Big thanks to Pastor Ricky. Heavy punches from Rattigan. Big thanks to Rattigan. And some heavy punches from the Wooten Batsman. Thank you, Melting Pot. To my Jamaican people, home and abroad, we want to say thank you most of all to continue. Make the Mystic Sensation fire burning. Right? And remember, people, to support Rattigan. Rattigan, you have your thing tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow night at 8:30. It's Come Reason with Rattigan. It's the program where we take phone calls that we can't take on a Saturday. But we're starting a special segment tomorrow, and it's called You Rich, You Me Catch You. So
All right.
we're gonna deal with them.
All right. And remember, lonesome in the place, right? Bolo, Pastor Ricky, right? I mean, everything is good. Everything is solid, right? As it relates to and here what happened. We don't take on the war and we don't have Pastor Ricky. We don't go on a mission and Pastor Ricky not there. Don't Pastor Ricky.
Amen to that.
All right. So
I want to pray first before we start anything.
And let me say again, because Pastor Ricky was supposed to have his show on Saturday, right? There was some technical difficulties, people, right? So look forward for this Saturday, right?
Yeah, the Titans brother will be there. So, and one last point too, I voiced 2 dub plates for the People's National Party last weekend. So they're getting mixed now and mastered. So stay tuned for some big tune I come forth.
All right. So people, there you have it. We want to say one love, and let me just have wifey just take us out.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. And wherever you are, stay blessed. Walk good and safe travel on the gravel if you're in Jamaica. Bless up.
All right.
Thank you.
Blessings.
I know why you come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister around the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.